Chapter 45-38. The elders of the grotto heavens also frowned. They felt that it was too unbelievable. Some people even nodded slightly. This young man was amazing. His growth was limitless. It was a pity that he was not one of them. Indeed, if they were geniuses from a grotto heaven, they would definitely soar into the sky. But unfortunately, the other party came from another world. No one would nurture such a genius with all their might. In fact, they would immediately attack and kill the other party. You're just SOSO. Now I'll let you see my power. Lin Xian took a step forward, and the aura on his body swept through the 9 heavens. He formed a seal with both hands and blasted it forward. Heaven and earth split open, and an ancient demonic mountain descended from the sky. This demonic mountain was too terrifying. It was as if it had crossed through time and space. It charged towards Elder Xingqian. At the same time, sword chi rushed out from his body, turning into a giant dragon that danced between heaven and earth. Feeling the biting cold aura from Lin Xian's body, everyone was shocked. They felt a chill behind their backs. This guy was too unbelievable. Sacred King Xingqian raised his head, and a biting cold killing intent erupted from his eyes. Starlight that filled the sky appeared on his body, forming a suit of armor. At the same time, a long sword appeared in his hand. Unparalleled sword. He sneered, "Kid, do you see this sword? I'll use this sword to kill you personally." Boom, boom, boom. He soared into the sky and charged forward. Lin Xian descended from the sky and charged down. The two once again engaged in a crazy battle. Elder Xingqian was truly enraged. He used his strongest power. The power of the stars erupted, and the unparalleled sword in his hand opened and closed. Lin Xian's expression was solemn, and there was a hint of biting cold killing intent in his eyes. The other party still dared to use the unparalleled sword to attack him. It was unforgivable. "All right, I'll let you die under this sword today." Lin Xian stretched out his palm and first struck out with the man-ruler seal, repelling the long sword. Then his left hand turned into a dragon claw and grabbed down. The claw split the sky and tore the void apart. He came in front of the other party and grabbed the other party's arm. Crack! The other party's arm was instantly broken. That sound made one's scalp tingle. Old Zhang of the constellations roared and slashed his sword at Lin Xian. Clanging sounds rang out and sparks danced in the air. Lin Xian retreated. However, this sword did not split his body. With a roar, Lin Xian charged forward again. At this moment, his divine body revolved, and he became extremely powerful. He fought against the unparalleled sword with his bare hands. Boom, boom. After another 100 attacks, the two of them retreated again. There was golden blood at the corner of Lin Xian's mouth. It was obvious that he was injured as well. However, Sacred Ruler Star King was in an even more miserable state. There were many large cracks on his body, and one of his arms had been completely shattered. He turned into a bloody mist. He couldn't even hold onto the unparalleled sword. "If you want to use this sword to kill me, I'm afraid it's impossible." Lin Xian sneered and used stellar transposition. The unparalleled sword was being controlled. He suddenly slashed out and cleaved Elder Xingqian in half. Elder Xingqian roared and retreated. His face was filled with fear. "Damn it, what kind of power is this?" Buzz. With a palm strike, Lin Xian grabbed the unparalleled sword, and an unparalleled radiance burst out from his eyes. This battle could be over. With a roar and the sound of a dragon, endless sword chi rushed into the sky. The sky full of sword shadows turned into laws and pierced through heaven and earth. This guy was so strong. Was he a top swordsman? Many people were shocked, and even some elders frowned. Why did such a strong physique and terrifying sword technique feel so familiar? Wasn't the guy who snatched the Rinnegan in Qiankuan ancient city such a terrifying existence? They were very suspicious. The people of Ethereal Peak were even staring at Lin Xian. They didn't know if this guy could use eye techniques. Once he used eye techniques and they found out that it was the Tianji eye. Then it was undoubtedly this guy. Unfortunately, Lin Xian did not intend to use eye techniques. He wanted to use his peerless sword technique to end this battle. "Damn kid, I want you dead." Elder Xingqian's body bloomed with light, and his eyes burst out with cold, killing intent. Many flames flew out from his body. Those were the starry flames, and they quickly condensed into a starry sky map. A terrifying aura burst out. Everyone was terrified. Starry flames, and so many of them. It seemed that this was the opponent's real trump card. The starry flames burned rapidly, and the aura of Elder Xingqian became even more terrifying than before. In the distance, young Master Chen looked at this scene from the spectator stand, and a smile appeared on his face. This was the secret technique of the Star Tribe. Now that it was used, the kid would definitely die. This was indeed a secret technique. Once it was used, it was considered a victory. One's strength would also be reduced. Originally, it would take 100 years to break through and become a late-stage holy king. Now that it was used, there was probably no hope for it in 500 years. However, Elder Xingqian was completely enraged. Even if there was no hope for it in 500 years, he would kill Lin Xian today. "I'll finish you in one move." He stretched out a finger. Then, his body turned into lightning and charged out. Lin Xian sneered. "Finish me in one move? You've said this many times already. But until now, you haven't hurt me. I don't know where you get the courage to say such words again." As he spoke, Lin Xian slashed out with his sword. A terrifying sword chi burst out from heaven and earth, piercing through the 9 heavens. The entire world shook, and a huge crack appeared. How could this be? Lin Xian's sword chi had become stronger again. Elder Xingqian was horrified. He could sense a fatal danger from the sword. He didn't dare to be careless. As he opened and closed his palms, the starry sky map pressed down. Lin Xian's 9 suns opened, the skies slashed down. Boom, boom. The divine swords and the starry sky collided, emitting a terrifying light. There was a sound between heaven and earth. Crack. Under countless shocked gazes, the starry sky shattered. Then, the sword slashed on Elder Xingqian's body. This sword pierced through Elder Xingqian's shoulder and slashed down. Half of Elder Xingqian's body split open. Holy blood dripped down, piercing through the 9 heavens. Damn it, how could this be? Those from the Star Tribe stood up, their eyes filled with shock. Elder Yenimo and the others narrowed their eyes. They didn't dare to imagine. But Elder Xingqian looked up to the sky and roared. The pain almost made him faint. He was injured again. He used a secret technique, but he still wasn't a match for Lin Xian. Damn it, I don't believe it. Go and die. Although his body was torn apart, he hadn't died yet. He used his strength and his palms flew out. There were 2 stars in his palms and they shone brightly. Then they burned quickly. His palms hit Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian was sent flying. Then, the 2 palms turned into a bloody mist. Lin Xian was also sent flying, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. There were 2 palms on his body, and they almost pierced through him. It was obvious that Lin Xian had burned his bloodline to launch this attack, and it was extremely terrifying. He had probably surpassed the middle stage of the Holy King realm. Xueqi exclaimed. The others were also in an uproar. Was he dead? Not yet. They saw Lin Xian stand up again. However, at this moment, terrifying flames also flew out of Elder Xingqian's body. It was the bloodline flame. Moreover, they were all burning up, which made everyone feel terrified. This guy was really going all out. Chapter 45-39. Elder Xingqian had already reached this step and burned his life force and strength? One had to know that Elder Xingqian's strength was extremely powerful. He was already equivalent to a late-stage holy venerable. He turned into lightning and arrived in front of Lin Xian, slapping down with his palm. Lin Xian had just stood up when he was sent flying again. Another long seal appeared on his body. Even if I die today, I will drag you to hell. Elder Xingqian was like a god of death, attacking crazily. Lin Xian did not retreat anymore. An extremely terrifying killing intent erupted from his eyes. Even if the other party burned his life force, so what? He roared at the sky. The human ruler seal, mountain-embracing seal, indestructible sword, and invincible sword erupted. At this moment, Lin Xian charged forward with an indomitable aura, as if he had turned into a peerless sword god. who didn't know how to fight with their lives on the line. The unparalleled sword turned into countless sword shadows, dancing non-stop like a giant dragon. Lin Xian was hit by many palms, but the other party had many more swords on his body. With one sword he split the other party in half. With another sword, the other party's hands split open. With another sword, the other party's eyes were also pierced. My sword is indestructible. My sword, heaven-conquering. Lin Xian raised his head and roared. His way of the sword was displayed to perfection. With one sword, he drew a 10,000 dragons diagram and charged down. With a crack, it collided with the other party's star chart. Endless laws danced. Lin Xian retreated. Elder Xingchen was also sent flying, spitting out large mouthfuls of blood. His face became incomparably pale, but he still couldn't care less. His split body healed again and he charged over. This battle was really too intense. Another sword strike forced the other party back. Lin Xian said coldly, "Star laws? Your stars are too insignificant. Let me show you what the true vastness of the galaxy is." Countless starlight appeared on Lin Xian's unparalleled sword. It spun rapidly. A star chart appeared on the long sword, flickering non-stop. Starlight fell from the 9 heavens. You don't have the right to use the power of the galaxy in front of me. I am from the star race. Elder Xingchen roared crazily. Was the other party using their family's divine ability again? What kind of joke was this? He killed his way out. However, tens of thousands of streaks of starlight scattered in the sky like peerless divine swords, beating him until he spat out blood. How could this be? Elder Xingchen coughed out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground with his back facing the sky. Those from the star tribe were also shocked. This aura was the light of the stars. Damn it, even those with powerful bloodlines in their clans wouldn't be able to use it. How did this kid do it? Your starlight is too insignificant. Lin Xian brandished his sword and strode forward. It was just one sword strike. Tens of millions of stars roared together, surrounding the other party. The Star City Elder's body was torn apart, and his strength rapidly weakened. Previously, he had obtained great power by burning his life force and laws. There wasn't much left now. He could no longer display the power of a late-stage holy king. On the other hand, Lin Xian's aura was growing stronger and stronger, not weakening in the slightest. The sharpness of the sword qi caused his body to be unable to heal completely. Everyone could see that Elder Xingchen's situation was very bad. He would probably be destroyed in 3 more strikes. Lin Xian didn't have any intention of stopping. Another sword strike was sent out, and Elder Xingchen's aura became even weaker. Even his soul became dim. At this moment, young Master Chen roared, attracting everyone's attention. Countless people exclaimed. It seemed that the people from the Star Tribe couldn't help but interfere in this matter. Lin Xian didn't care about the other party's roar at all. Another sword strike was sent down. Damn it, how dare you! This time, it wasn't just young Master Chen. Even the elder from the Star Tribe was furious. Between heaven and earth, endless power rushed towards Lin Xian, causing Lin Xian's soul to be impacted. Lin Xian's eyes were cold. At the same time, he swept out his sword, and the dragon soul's aura destroyed this power. He turned his head and stared into the distance. How dare you attack me? The surrounding people were shocked as well. They didn't expect the people from the Star Tribe to be so domineering as to attack Lin Xian directly. Xueqi stood out and said, "This was a life and death battle, and no one else was allowed to interfere. What can you do to me if I do? Do you want to start a war with the Star Tribe?" That elder was extremely arrogant, and his powerful aura suppressed the entire place. The people from the other grotto heavens didn't dare to speak. What a joke! Who would dare to go against Ethereal Peak? Indeed, Xian Hai also said, "Xueqi, don't be rude. Kid, let's end this here." Xian Hai said coldly. Even though Lin Xian had won, he didn't feel happy at all. Yen Mo nodded and said, "You can stop now." The people from the other grotto heavens were shocked. Indeed, the 2 elders of Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven had spoken. Seemed like there was no need for this battle to continue. They shook their heads and sighed. After hearing this, Lin Xian laughed. His laughter was extremely arrogant. The starry sky of the 9 heavens 10 earths shook. Kid, what are you laughing at? Xianhai's face darkened. Lin Xian said, I'm laughing. You are all idiots. You are courting death. Xianhai was infuriated, and Yenmo's face also darkened. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Did I say anything wrong? My talent is obvious to all. No matter which sect I am in, they would do their best to nurture me. But you guys suppressed me from the beginning, and you are still suppressing me now. I really don't understand how your grotto heavens managed to survive until now. Xianhai roared, Kid, you are strong, but so what? No matter how strong you are still just one person. If we want you to live, you will live. If we want you to die, you will die. Is that so? Do you really think that you have the power to control everything? Lin Xian sneered coldly. Before this, I could still let you guys off because of Xue Qi. But since you are courting death, don't blame me. How dare you? Impudent! The 2 elders were so angry that they almost vomited blood. The people from the other grotto heavens were also shocked. This kid is crazy. Although he had become Xue Qi's husband, his status wasn't ordinary, so what? Even Xue Qi didn't dare to act wantonly in front of the 2 elders. Lin Xian didn't pay attention to the 2 elders, and he looked at the Star Race's elder from the Misty Peak. You are quite arrogant. Do you think that you can attack me as you wish just because you are a late-stage Saint King? Did you want to kill me with your previous attack? But it's a pity that you can't do it. You are 2 stages higher than me, yet you still can't kill me instantly. You are just a Kid, are you challenging me? The Star Race's elder walked out. No one had ever dared to challenge him, and those who had challenged him were all dead. Lin Xian sneered coldly. Do you want to fight? Do you dare to fight me at the same level? I will kill you instantly. You aren't qualified to fight me at the same level, so I can kill you instantly. Is that so? Kill me instantly? You have already attacked me, but can you kill me? Do you think that you can control the world just because you are from the Misty Peak? Do you think that everyone will listen to you? You are too naive. Today, I will let you know that you can't control everyone. After Lin Xian spoke, he waved his sword energy, and a dragon-shaped sword energy rushed out and enveloped the Star Race's elder. The Star Race's elder roared and tried to escape. Chapter 45-40. Lin Xian waved his hand and grabbed the storage ring. Then, he turned his head. I killed him in front of you. What can you do to me? Everyone was stunned. They had never thought that Elder Xingchen would die like this. This was a scene that they had never encountered before. Elder Xingchen had lived for more than 4,000 years. He was an extremely powerful existence in the Holy Venerate realm. Within 100 years, he could definitely become a late-stage Holy Venerate. Such a person was terrifying. But now, he had fallen. He had fallen in the hands of a young man. Moreover, it was in front of Ethereal Peak. This was not only a slap to Thousand Mountain Cave's face, but also a slap to Ethereal Peak's face. How could the experts of Ethereal Peak and Star Tribe tolerate this? As expected, the face of the elder from the Misty Peak turned extremely ugly. How dare you kill him? Then, you can go to hell to be buried with him. A huge hand slapped over. The terrifying aura was 10 times stronger than Elder Xingchen's. It was too terrifying. This was the cultivation of a late-stage Holy Venerate. Lin Xian felt his hair stand on end. However, his eyes were shining. He pinched the storage ring that he had obtained. The treasures inside were all absorbed by the great dragon sword soul. He held the unparalleled sword with both hands and slashed forward. Kill! Lin Xian roared. The dragon sword's soul roared and slashed forward. It was like an eternal divine light between heaven and earth. With a boom, it collided with the galaxy hand. A monstrous force swept out and the surrounding people all retreated. This kid was dead meat. However, what shocked them was that Lin Xian only took a few steps back. The galaxy hand in the sky and the terrifying sword Qi disappeared together. This guy actually blocked it? It was too unbelievable. Everyone was shocked. This was the attack of a late-stage Holy King. How strong was this kid's combat strength? Could it be that he could compete with a late-stage Holy King? Lin Xian sneered. Not very powerful. Didn't you want to kill me in one move? Come on, how many moves have you made to me? The elder of the star race was shocked beyond words. He had not expected that the other party would be able to block his attack. Kid, I admit that your talent and strength have indeed exceeded my expectations. However, it's a pity that you're not from the Star Tribe, nor are you from the Ethereal Peak. Therefore, you will definitely die. The elder of the star race walked out, emitting an even more terrifying aura. Evidently, he was going to go all out. He said coldly, "Do you feel wronged? Do you think I'm a bully? Taking advantage of his seniority?" However, it was a pity that these were all true. This was a world that emphasized strength. Absolute strength could control everything. So, Aunt, you can die in peace. The people from the surrounding grotto heavens were silent. No one dared to make a move. They all felt a moment of silence for Lin Xian. It was truly a pity that such a genius had fallen like this. Xue Qi's expression changed, and she soared into the sky. She wanted to help Lin Xian. However, Black Ice Ancestor waved her hand and formed a sealing enchantment that enveloped her. Stop. You can't save him. Xue Qi's face became pale. Lin Xian chuckled. Do you think that you can defeat me? Do you really like the feeling of bullying others? As he spoke, he crushed the Shentian token. At the same time, a whirlpool formed above his head, and a person walked out of it. Who dares to attack a member of the Shentian pavilion? Not good. The elder of the star race's expression changed. He had forgotten that his opponent was a member of the Shentian pavilion, and he even had a token in his hand. He slashed out with his blade, and the starry river turned into a blade light that slashed toward the whirlpool. He wanted to destroy the spatial teleportation. A finger stretched out of the whirlpool, and it turned into a sharp sword that slashed toward the elder. The heavens and the earth cracked, and the blade light was shattered. The elder of the star race vomited blood and was sent flying. An imposing figure walked out of the whirlpool, and his ice-cold voice reverberated in all directions. You dare to attack me? Everyone was stunned, and their scalps went numb. The elder of the star race was sent flying. Who was this person? When they raised their heads and looked over, their pupils contracted. It was Jian Wuk, an elder. The people of the star race also ran over. The elder of the star race stood up, his face pale. He gritted his teeth and said, Jian Wuk, do you dare to interfere in the matters of the star race? Jian Wuk stared at the other party. You are the one who attacked a member of the Shentian pavilion? That. He sent a slap over. You are courting death. The elder of the star race rushed over and fought with Jian Wuk. However, he was no match for Jian Wuk. With a slap, he was sent flying. Half of his face was smashed, and his teeth flew all over the ground. Everyone was silent. Was the difference that big? The elder of the star race rushed over again. Damn it, you hit me? You want to start a war with the Misty Peak? Jian Wuk sneered. You can't represent the star race, and you can't represent the Misty Peak. So what if I hit you? Don't you like to bully others? When you attacked a disciple of the Shentian pavilion, did you ever think about the feeling of being suppressed? Now, I will let you have a taste of it. As he spoke, he sent out another slap. The elder of the star race's body was torn into pieces, turning into a bloody mist. He roared crazily, finally feeling fear. Damn it. Duguju, why aren't you attacking? Duguju sighed and stood up. Jian Wuk looked at him and said coldly, What, you want to attack me? Very well. Let me experience your strength, Duguju. Jian Wuk released a vast sword qi, sweeping out in all directions. Duguju said, Are you really going to make an enemy of the Misty Peak for a young man? That's right. Jian Wuk nodded and said coldly, Lin Xian is a peerless genius, and his future is limitless. Moreover, he has already joined the Shentian Pavilion, and is naturally protected by the Shentian Pavilion. Today I, Jian Wuk, am going to fight with the Misty Peak for a peerless genius. Are you surprised? Duguju said, There are many geniuses out there, so why should you risk your life for him? Jian Wuk sneered. Many geniuses? Let me ask you, a Saint King went out and killed a Saint King expert, How can you find such a genius? An early Saint King who can block the attack of a late Saint King. How can you find such a genius? Let me ask you, does the Misty Peak have such a genius? Ridiculous. You actually said that there are many such geniuses? This is a peerless genius, not someone the trash of the Misty Peak can compare to. Everyone was shocked, but thinking about it, Dugu was right. Lin Xian's talent was really too strong. When he was a Saint Venerable, he could defeat a Saint King. Now that he had reached the Saint King realm, perhaps only a late Saint King could suppress him. If he could reach the late Saint King realm, wouldn't he be able to fight the great sage? Thinking about it, they felt their hair stand on end. Those from the star race gritted their teeth. Especially those geniuses, none of them were willing to accept it. Lin Xian looked at them and said, "What, you are not willing to accept it? If you are not, then come at me." Chapter 45-41. Young Master Chen and the rest had ugly looks on their faces, but no one dared to make a move. Even the Star Elder had died. They were probably no match for him. Jian Wuk spoke again. Such a top genius. Thousand Mountain Grotto is an idiot. Ethereal Peak is also an idiot. Then Xiantian Pavilion will take him. Today I will take him away. Who has any objections? He killed an expert of the star race. How can we let him leave? The star race elder jumped out once again, gritting his teeth. Lin Xian sneered. Have you gone senile? It was a fair battle of life and death. Life and death were up to fate. It was normal for me to kill him. But you, using your status and cultivation, broke the rules of a battle of life and death. You are the laughing stock of the world. The star race elder was so angry that he vomited blood. He wanted to attack. At this moment, Jian Wuk slashed out again, splitting him into two. The star race elder had completely broken down. Duguju's face also darkened. Enough. You have attacked again and again. Do you really think that Ethereal Peak is easy to bully? Today, I will see what right you have to take him away. Duguju was enraged as well. Lin Xian had already slapped him in the face during the competition. Now, there was no way he would let him leave. Since Lin Xian had become enemies with Ethereal Peak, he would not let such a peerless genius continue to grow. Otherwise, he would be a peerless enemy. Duguju's palm was like a knife, slashing out. The light that reached the sky brought with it a domineering aura. Jian Wuk snorted coldly and waved his finger. Sword chi was like lightning, piercing through the void and attacking forward. Boom, boom, boom. The sword and saber collided and tore apart the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The surrounding people were all sent flying, vomiting blood. It was too terrifying. Both of them were late-stage Saint Kings. They were extremely terrifying existences. Both of them were equal in strength. Now that they were fighting, it was like a fierce battle. After one move, Duguju roared into the sky. A saber appeared on his body. He waved it and slashed forward. An ancient sword appeared in Jian Wuk's hand. He attacked as well. The two of them fought like a saber god and a sword god. Everyone's expression changed. The only ones who could still maintain their composure were the two great sages. The two of them also wore gloomy expressions and remained silent. Now that things had come to this, they couldn't do anything. No matter if it was Duguju or Jian Wuk, they could not afford to offend either of them. After all, they were backed by the Misty Peak and the Xiantian Pavilion. The experts who came out could destroy them. Thousand Mountain Grotto. Therefore, they could only watch silently. The battle between the two was extremely terrifying. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. At this moment, the elder from the star race walked out again. His body was covered in blood, and his eyes were filled with cold, killing intent as he stared at Lin Xian. "Kid, let's see who can save you this time." He revealed a ferocious smile and said, "Everyone in the Grotto Heaven, listen up. Kill him." The people from the surrounding Grotto Heavens felt their scalps go numb. Jian Wuk shouted coldly, "Who would dare to attack?" The Xiantian Pavilion would definitely send experts to destroy that heavenly abode. The surrounding people became even more frightened and didn't dare to make a move. A bunch of trash. The elder of the Star Tribe sneered. Since that's the case, I'll do it myself. I'd like to see how you're going to deal with it. His eyes were filled with killing intent. This time he was truly enraged. With a roar, a galaxy flew over. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. He was enraged as well. The phantom of the Great Sage Pagoda appeared around his body. He used the void escape technique and dodged continuously, avoiding the strongest attacks. The galaxy storm hit the Great Sage Pagoda, causing an earth-shattering sound. His blood boiled from the impact, but he still fought his way out. Now that he had the phantom of the Great Sage Pagoda, the other party couldn't hurt him. Lin Xian's great dragon sword soul circulated within his body. He slashed out with his sword, turning it into a peerless sword light that fought against the galaxy. The battle erupted. The elder of the star race had an ugly look on his face. He had already used all his strength, but he still couldn't kill the other party. Especially the other party's mysterious spatial mystique and strong defense. Even the sword chi was troublesome for him. He had to use all his strength to deal with it. Despicable guy, you've really angered me. He roared into the sky. Galaxy domain. Boundless starlight appeared on his body, completely sealing the space around him. Kid, let's see how you're going to escape this time. He created thousands of clones and charged over. Everyone was in despair. Lin Xian entered the Great Sage Pagoda to resist. The Great Sage Pagoda erupted with an unparalleled brilliance. It was shaken by the attacks, but it still spun and charged out. Lin Xian came out of the Great Sage Pagoda and used the void escape technique to charge forward. Old thing, you dare to kill me? I'll let you know the price. He rushed out and slapped out. Two geniuses of the star race instantly turned into a bloody mist. Elder, save me. Those geniuses ran away frantically, their faces full of fear. They couldn't resist at all. This was a killing god. The elder of the star race was furious. His eyes were red. How dare you? If you dare to touch the people of the star race, I'll tear you into pieces. Why, have you gone crazy? Don't you like to use your strength to crush others? Now, I'll use my strength to crush the star race. Lin Xian sneered. These geniuses of the star race were indeed very strong, but they couldn't withstand a single blow from him. With a slash of his sword, 3 heads flew up. The elder of the star race turned into a bolt of lightning and charged over. Lin Xian used the void escape technique and used his strongest attack. However, the other party used the starry lightning to form a sure kill attack. Lin Xian entered the Great Sage Pagoda again and was sent flying. His blood and chi were tumbling. The Great Sage Pagoda was the property of the Great Sage. The other party couldn't break through its defense at all. Damn it. The elder of the star race also realized that this was a top-grade defensive divine artifact. He couldn't break through it. Kid, come out if you have the guts. Lin Xian sneered inside. Do you have the face to say this? If you have the ability, let's fight at the same level. As he spoke, he attacked again and attacked behind him. The ground cracked open. 2 streaks of sword energy pierced through 2 geniuses of the star race. The elder of the star race was so angry that he vomited blood. He was really crazy. Left with no other choice, he could only look ahead. Seniors, please take him down. The star race is very grateful. Black Ice Ancestor frowned. The Holy Heaven's old ancestor's eyes flickered. Alright, I'll help you. This was a good chance to rope in the star race. How could he miss out on this opportunity? The Holy Heaven's old ancestor stretched out a hand and grabbed the Great Sage Pagoda. If I'm not wrong, this should be a weapon that surpasses the Sage King level. Someone like you doesn't deserve to have such a thing. The Great Sage Pagoda shone brightly and blocked the attack. Lin Xian's face was extremely ugly. The Holy Heaven's old ancestor. He swore that this bloodline would be destroyed in the future. Black Ice Ancestor sighed. Did she let this old thing take the lead? She also wanted to rope in the star race, so she was prepared to attack. Xueqi said, Grandpa, even if you don't support him, can you not attack? If you really want to attack, I'll kill myself in front of you. You don't mess around. Black Ice Ancestor angrily tried to seal her. Xueqi's body was covered in black ice and blocked the seal. She said, Father, it's useless. You can't seal me. Chapter 45-42. Xian Hai was dumbfounded. What was that black ice? Black ice ancestor sighed. Forget it. I'll listen to you this time and not attack him. However, I can't help him either. However, even if I don't attack him, he won't be able to fight against the Holy Heaven's old ancestor alone. In an instant, the Holy Heaven's old ancestor's palm grabbed the great sage pagoda, wanting to destroy it completely. The toad roared in the great sage pagoda. This guy is too despicable. I really want to kill him. Kid, what should we do now? If he takes us away, we'll be in great danger. Lin Xian gritted his teeth. Take out all the treasures you have. I'm going to kill him today. Lin Xian also took out countless treasures. At the same time, he circulated all his strength and attacked. The great dragon sword's soul roared, and a dragon-shaped sword chi flew out. With a clang, it slashed the huge palm, and a crack appeared on it. The Holy Heaven's old ancestor was stunned, and his face turned ugly. Lin Fan still had treasures that could injure him? What was that? He was really shocked. A piercingly cold light burst out from his eyes. This guy definitely had a heaven-shaking treasure in his hands. He must get it. At the thought of this, he attacked again. Endless Tao formed wind blades on his palm. Lin Xian, the toad, and Whitey all took out their treasures. The great dragon sword's soul roared again. This time, a dragon roar resounded through the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Between heaven and earth, more terrifying thunder descended and turned into sword chi. The sword slashed out. The Holy Heaven's old ancestor's palm was completely split open. It was full of cracks, and it shattered into a bloody mist. The surrounding people went crazy. What kind of treasure did this kid use? It could actually fight against the great sage. Father! Yen Mo exclaimed. On the other side, Xian Hai was stunned. Even Black Ice Ancestor took a deep breath. Her eyes were filled with shock. How could a sage ruler resist the great sage's strength? But what was going on now? How did this kid do it? No wonder Xue Qi didn't let him take action. If he let Lin Fan escape today, what kind of storm would he cause when he returned? He did not dare to imagine. He said to Xian Hai, "From now on, no one was allowed to make a move against this brat. Even if he escapes, you are not allowed to pursue him. Do you hear me?" Xian Hai was dumbfounded, but he couldn't refute it. Were they really wrong? This brat was indeed a peerless genius. If they had treated him with respect from the start and nurtured him well, they would have benefited immensely when he grew up. It was a pity. They had always been high and mighty, never putting the people of other worlds in their eyes. Even if Lin Xian displayed his talent, they believed that he would not be able to grow. They continued to suppress him. But now they really regretted it. Black Ice Ancestor sighed. She had misjudged him. He had lived for thousands of years, but this time, he had really made a mistake. However, he knew that he could no longer make up for what had happened to Lin Xian. It was fortunate that he had Xue Qi, and he couldn't see through his granddaughter. Xue Qi must have also gotten a heaven-defying fortuitous encounter, and he could only depend on her in the future. As for Lin Xian, they no longer intended to be enemies with him. At the very least, they wouldn't take the initiative to hunt him down. However, whether he could escape today would depend on his luck. The sagely Heaven's old ancestor was even more shocked. His opponent had actually injured him. How could an ant injure him? His eyes shone with an extremely cold light as he stood up. The great sage's aura was vast and boundless. At this moment, the experts of the Grotto Heaven all prostrated themselves on the ground, not daring to resist. "Ant, you have thoroughly angered me. I will let you know that no matter what you have, you will not be able to fight against the great sage." He formed a seal with his palm, and a piece of the sky pressed down with a holy light. At this moment, Jian Wuk roared, and tens of thousands of sword lights slashed toward Duguju, sending him flying. At the same time, he flew back to the side of the great sage tower. He said, "Try it, sagely Heaven's old ancestor. If you touch him today, I can guarantee that the next day, the experts of the Shentian Pavilion will kill their way to the 1,000 Mountain Grotto Heaven. I will destroy your souls." The piece of sky in the sky stopped and changed into a palm. The sagely heaven's old ancestor's face was extremely ugly. If it was just Lin Xian, he would not hesitate at all. However, Jian Wuk had come and was beside him. He could not attack. If he injured Jian Wuk, he would completely offend the Xiantian pavilion. Although they had the protection of the Misty Peak, it could not protect them forever. Therefore, he could not use this move. Jian Wuk snorted coldly and took out a scroll from his storage ring. After opening it, boundless spatial energy surrounded him and the great sage tower. Was he leaving? Xue Qi heaved a sigh of relief. Black Ice old ancestor's gaze was complicated, and her face was ugly. The people of the star race roared, especially the star race elder. Brat, even if you run to the ends of the earth, the star race will not let you go. Lin Xian walked out of the great sage tower, and his body gradually faded. Hearing this, he snorted coldly. Old thing, I will give you one last gift. A ball of light burst out from his eyes, turning into a spiritual light as he attacked below. At this moment, he attacked young Master Chen. Young Master Chen fell on his back and roared. Xia Yike was no longer breathing. The star race elder went completely crazy. Young Master Chen was also dead? This was a young master of the star race. If he died, what kind of shock would it cause? Damn it, what was that? Eye technique. Countless people were shocked. The other party had such a terrifying soul eye technique. Damn it, could it be that he was? Countless people looked at the sky. In the sky, space flickered and Lin Xian and Jian Wuk disappeared. The star race elder came to young Master Chen's side to check. He discovered that his soul had been completely destroyed. Damn it, what a terrifying eye technique. The others were also shocked. Top-tier physique, terrifying sword chi, and now such a terrifying soul eye technique. It made them think of the red-robed man in Chenkuan ancient city. Was it him? Some elders of the grotto heavens quickly transmitted their voices. Did you see clearly? Was it the heavenly secret divine eye? Another person shook his head. Do you dare to raise your head? I don't dare. Who knows if it was the heavenly secret divine eye? Could it really be him? Even if it wasn't him, this guy was still a terrifying expert. It was over. The star race was going crazy. I wonder what the situation will be like next? Countless discussions could be heard. The people of Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven were also shocked. They knew that the star race would definitely not let this matter rest. Especially at the end, the eye technique that Lin Xian used was too mysterious. It made them very suspicious. What was the relationship between him and the mysterious red-robed man? Outside Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven, countless people were shocked. Among them, a stream of light flashed past and turned into a black-robed man with a monstrous aura. He looked into the distance and was also shocked. Was that dragon's voice from before the great dragon sword spirit? Could it be that Lin Xian was inside? Chapter 45-43. In the Thousand Mountain Grotto Heaven. The elder of the star race roared. Damn Lin Xian. No matter where you go, even if you go to the Xiantian pavilion, the star race will catch you. We will make you wish you were dead. The holy heaven's old ancestor said coldly. Don't worry, we won't let that kid go either. His cold voice made the people of the other grotto heavens feel numb. They knew that there was going to be a huge storm. At this moment, a sneer came from the sky. Did you attack Lin Xian? As soon as he finished speaking, a monstrous aura filled the air, forming a black storm that swept over. Who was that? Countless people were shocked. Was someone standing up for Lin Xian? The elder of the star race roared. Did that person know Lin Xian? Then go to hell. He charged forward. A river of stars appeared and streaked across the sky. It could pierce through everything. Boom, boom, boom. The black storm fell, and the laws covered the river of stars and the elder of the star race. The elder of the star race roared in pain. Everyone was stunned. What was going on? They saw the elder of the star race's body being smashed into pieces. He was dead. Everyone went crazy. After young Master Chen died, did the elder of the star race die as well? Who was it? The holy heaven's old ancestor's face changed. He struck out once again and charged into the sky. The entire sky flipped over and charged toward the black storm. The great sage? In the storm, the black-robed man sighed and formed a hand seal. The surrounding ground kept changing. Countless arrays flickered and turned into a huge cauldron that suppressed the sky. It collided with the palm of the holy heaven's old ancestor. The arrays in the sky were shattered. The holy heaven's old ancestor's palm was blocked, and the black storm slowly disappeared. Damn it! The holy heaven's old ancestor roared and looked across the sky. But he realized that the other party had already disappeared. Who was that? The holy heaven's old ancestor was shocked. The other party was too strong, and the laws were everywhere. Was he from the demon race? Also, the other party used the arrays of the 1,000-mountain grotto heaven. What kind of array master was he? Did Lin Xian know such a person? This kid's identity was more terrifying than they had imagined. Duguju's face turned cold as well. Go and find out who it is. The elder who had died was not only an elder of the Star Tribe, but also an elder of their ethereal peak. The ethereal peak would never let him off. Outside the 1,000-mountain grotto heaven, the black-robed man appeared, his face slightly pale. Otherwise, killing him would be as easy as flipping his hand. Little guy, I've avenged you a little. As for the rest, it's up to you. The figure of the black-robed man disappeared between heaven and earth. 2 streaks of light flew through the air. They were Lin Xian and Jian Wuk. They had used a spatial array to leave the 1,000-mountain cave. At this moment, they were already far away from that area. Now that the little fellow is safe, I'll take you to the profound heaven pavilion. Jian Wuk laughed. After flying for 10 days, Lin Xian was surprised. Senior, was the Shen-Tian pavilion very far from the ethereal peak? Jian Wuk nodded. They were indeed not close. The two of them belonged to 2 different regions. Lin Xian asked, what was the distribution of the buried Emperor Star? He wasn't too sure because he had asked Xueqi before. However, Xueqi only knew about the ethereal peak region. Apart from that, she wasn't too sure. Now that he had met Jian Wuk, Lin Xian wanted to know more. Jian Wuk said, I only know a rough idea because the buried Emperor Star is very big. The entire buried Emperor Star has a few seas and a few continents. Overall, 4 oceans and 8 desolations. Our Shen-Tian Pavilion and Ethereal Peak are on the same continent called the Tian-Shen continent. Just the Tian-Shen continent alone is very big. I'm only familiar with some of the regions. After Lin Xian heard this, he was even more shocked. 4 oceans and 8 desolations. It seemed that the buried Emperor Star was much bigger than he had imagined. In the 4 oceans and 8 desolations, there were some tombs of great emperors. However, those were all danger zones and ordinary people wouldn't be able to go there. In the other continents and oceans, there were strong existences. There were also some ancient races. Places like Ethereal Peak and Shen-Tian Pavilion could rule a region and had many grotto heavens. Apart from that, there were also some ancient cities. Some were ancient cities and some were even ancient cities. Those ancient cities also stood tall on the ground and were places that countless people yearned for. For example, the Qinkuan ancient city was a very famous city. At this moment, Lin Xian and the others were going to the Shen-Tian Pavilion. It was located in the east of the Tian-Shen continent. After flying for about a month, they arrived. This region was already very far from Ethereal Peak and belonged to the Shen-Tian Pavilion. Let's go, little fellow, follow me. Jian Wuk led the way. The 2 of them turned into rays of light and flew towards the mountain range in the distance. When they arrived, a formation appeared below them and 4 figures flew up. Stop, this is the Shen-Tian Pavilion. It's me. Jian Wuk stopped and said coldly. After the 4 guards saw this, they were also shocked. Then, they all bowed and greeted Elder Wuk. At the same time, they looked at Lin Xian and were surprised again. Who is this person? He was very unfamiliar but no one dared to ask. Lin Xian was also sizing them up. They were indeed experts. The strength of the Shen-Tian Pavilion was not any weaker than Ethereal Peak. Just the guards of the mountain were all sage kings and they had an extremely cold killing intent. It was obvious that they were people who had been through hundreds of battles. Lin Xian nodded slightly at the few of them and then followed Wuk inside. Inside was a continuous mountain range. There were many pavilions and halls on the mountain range. There were even some halls that were bigger than the mountain range. Along the way, many people met Jian Wuk and bowed to him. It was obvious that Jian Wuk's status in the Xintian pavilion was not ordinary. He should be very important, Elder. Elder, you are finally back. When Jian Wuk brought Lin Xian to a territory, two figures rushed into the sky anxiously. It was a man and a woman. They were very young and seemed to be of the younger generation. They were also very talented and had reached the Sage King realm. The two of them looked at Jian Wuk anxiously. What happened? Jian Wuk asked. The man said, it's about the Spirit Path ancient land. According to the information we found, the Sky River sect and the Ice Feather Palace seem to have the intention of joining forces to deal with the Xintian pavilion. So at this moment, those elders are extremely anxious and are choosing people? There's such a thing? Jian Wuk was shocked. Then he said, I know. You two don't have to worry. I'll go now. Then he looked at Lin Xian. Little guy, you should come with me as well. So he followed. Looking at the two of them leaving, the two of them were extremely shocked. Why did the elder bring this person? Who is this person? He looks even younger than us. Chapter 45-44. Lin Xian didn't know what was going on, but he figured it must be something very important. Soon, Jian Wuk brought Lin Xian to a large hall. This hall was bigger than the 8 mountains combined. There were no guards around, but there was a terrifying array. Lin Xian could feel that the array could easily kill a Saint King. Jian Wuk walked over and took out a medallion. Countless Dao runes flew out from the medallion. The array formation in front of him slowly opened. Jian Wuk and Lin Xian walked in. At this moment, there were many people standing in the hall. They seemed to be discussing something. When they saw Jian Wuk walk over, they all turned around. Someone smiled and said, Wuk, you are finally back. That's right, we were worried to death. Many people walked over. These people had terrifying auras. Many of them were late-stage Saint Kings. There were even peak Saint Kings. Jian Wuk said, I have a rough idea of what is going on. Are they really going to work together? We've only scouted out some information, and it's very likely to be true. So we are thinking, who should we choose next? There were a few suitable candidates, but the spots were limited. The first one had already been chosen. There were only 2 spots left. Oh, there were 2 more? Jian Wuk smiled when he heard that. Just nice, I can recommend someone. Lin Xian, you can come. After speaking, Lin Xian walked out. The surrounding people were shocked. Only now did they realize that Wuk Jian had not come alone. There was another person with him. Countless gazes landed on Lin Xian. The space around Lin Xian kept shattering. He felt a huge pressure. He circulated the energy in his body and his sword energy destroyed the pressure. He faced it calmly. The surrounding people were shocked. This kid was not simple. He was facing so many late-stage Saint Kings and even peak Saint Kings calmly. They did not know where this genius came from. Wuk, who is this kid? An old man asked. This old man was very strong. He had a golden body and golden light filled the sky. He was like a golden god of war. Lin Xian could feel an abnormally powerful aura emanating from his opponent's body. This was a body refining technique, and an extremely terrifying one at that. His name is Lin Xian. He came from planet Shiwan. He was in the 1,000 Mountain Cave before, but I brought him here. Oh, he's the little guy you were talking about. The other middle-aged man nodded. Previously, they had also heard of this person. However, they had never imagined that Jian Wuk would actually bring this person over so quickly. The other lady frowned slightly. Wuk, although we believe in you, the quota this time is extremely important. Not just anyone could participate in this event. Although you think highly of him, he's still too young. I think it's better to wait until next time. The others also nodded in agreement. They could also tell that Lin Xian was only an early-stage Saint King, and it looked like he had just broken through. No matter how strong such a person was, how strong could he be? Moreover, there was no age limit for the selection this time. In other words, not only young people could participate, but the middle-aged generation could also participate. In this way, cultivation was extremely important. The previous quotas were all obtained by middle-stage Saint Kings. The young geniuses of the Shentian Pavilion probably did not have the qualifications to obtain them, let alone those who had just arrived. Jian Wuk laughed when he heard this. You don't have to worry about this because he had just killed a middle-stage Saint King elder from the Thousand Mountain Cave. What? The moment these words were said, everyone in the hall was shocked. This guy had killed an elder from the Thousand Mountain Cave. Is this true? Could it be that he had used some secret pill or a super powerful saint weapon? Some people had doubts in their eyes. It seems like you don't believe me. That's good too. Let's give him a chance and let him participate in the competition for the last 2 quotas. All right. The old man covered in golden light nodded. Since Jian Wuk had said so, they could not reject him. Moreover, they were also very curious. Did this young man really have the strength to kill an elder? At this moment, they looked at the 2 people in front of them. There were 2 figures standing at the front. The aura of these 2 people had reached the great sage realm. It was obvious that these 2 people were the real decision-makers. Lin Xian faced the aura of the great sage and took a deep breath. The 2 figures were like a dream. One of them was standing on a lotus, like a fairy from the 9 heavens. The other was a man. He looked young, but the aura of his body was incomparably terrifying. On his back, there was a pair of black wings. When he spread them out, it brought about a strong storm. These 2 were the supreme elders. The Lotus Ancestor and the Dark Feather Ancestor. The Lotus Ancestor laughed. Jian Wuk, since he is the person you recommended, then he has the qualifications to participate. Thank you very much, Grand Elders. Jian Wuk laughed. After that, he introduced the 2 to Lin Xian. Lin Xian also bowed respectfully, greeting the 2 seniors. At the same time, he asked through voice transmission, "Are they the pavilion masters?" Jian Wuk smiled. They weren't pavilion masters, they were supreme elders. The pavilion master of the Shentian Pavilion, Lord Xiang Tian, has always been very mysterious. He seems to be in seclusion. Unless it is an extremely important matter, otherwise, he will not appear. Lin Xian was even more shocked after hearing this. Lord Xiang Tian. His pupils constricted. Wasn't the person Xia Jiuyo asked him to find a person called Xiang Tian? He did not expect that it was actually the pavilion master of the Shentian Pavilion. Was it a coincidence? Same name? Or was it really him? He felt that when he had the chance, he had to personally meet this Lord Xiang Tian. Previously, there were 4 people and now there were 2 spots left. With Lin Xian, there were 5 spots left. The competition was intense again. Everyone did not know how to fight. Lin Xian looked around and laughed. Isn't it simple? I think many people have already gotten a spot. Then I will challenge them. If I defeat them, doesn't that mean that I have the qualifications to get a spot? This way, the battle will be decided. This was indeed true. The others frowned. This kid was too arrogant. Those who had already gotten a spot were all powerful experts. Did this kid really dare to challenge them? Interesting. The surrounding people also smiled. They felt that Lin Xian was very interesting. These people were all people who had already gotten a spot. Kid, your words are a little arrogant. Although you were brought back by Elder Wuk, you can't be so arrogant. I want to see if you have the qualifications to say such words. Among the 4 figures, a man walked out. His aura was extremely powerful. He had reached the middle stage of the Sage King realm. Lin Xian looked at Jian Wuk. Jian Wuk nodded slightly. It's fine. Just show me your strength. All right, I understand. Lin Xian walked forward. Then, please enlighten me. After he finished speaking, a powerful aura exploded from his body. The surrounding people were stunned. What a strong physique. Chapter 45-45. You're really brave. Since that's the case, I won't hold back. Don't worry, I'll stop. The man on the other side walked out. He was wearing 5-colored armor, and light erupted from his body. The 5 elemental laws swept out and quickly formed 5 clones, enveloping Lin Xian. This is my 5 elemental laws. I wonder how many moves you can withstand? The man said loudly. It seemed like he was reminding Lin Xian. In fact, he was very confident. There was a difference of a realm between the two sides. In his opinion, the other party couldn't even withstand a single move. Lin Xian was also surprised. Oh, 5 elemental laws? Interesting. Since that's the case, I won't hold back. Lin Xian clenched his hand into a fist and punched out. His speed was extremely fast as he charged towards one of the clones. His fist was like the sun, illuminating the entire world. What speed! What terrifying power! The expressions of the surrounding people changed. The smiles on their faces disappeared, replaced by a hint of seriousness. Such a person was indeed terrifying. The expression of the man in 5-colored armor also changed. He shouted in a low voice, "You're indeed very strong, beyond my expectations. But against my 5 elemental laws, you're still not enough. I'll let you see my 5 elemental formation." The 5 elemental laws cooperated with each other, growing and multiplying endlessly. It was extremely powerful. The clone that was attacked retreated one after another. The power of the other clones surged out, forming a terrifying shield to block the attack. The Earth Shield. With a bang, the clone was knocked back and the shield shattered. However, it blocked the attack. "Did you see that, kid? No matter how strong you are, you can't defeat me," the armored man said proudly. Lin Xian said with a smile, "Is that so? What if I attack together?" As he said that, Lin Xian threw out 5 fist shadows consecutively, charging towards the 5 elemental clones. Each clone was facing an extremely powerful threat. Not good. How did he do it? His speed is actually so fast. The expressions of the mid-stage holy kings changed. They also felt their hair stand on end when they encountered such an attack. This was not an ordinary fist. It contained the power of the divine body, and it was extremely terrifying. The 5 clones used the power of the 5 elemental laws together like a vast sea to resist. 5 elemental laws as one. The armored man's battle roared and attacked. The power of the 5 elemental laws. Then an earth-shattering sound, the 5 elemental laws of the 5 elemental clones. The laws on each and every one of them dimmed considerably, as if they would be extinguished at any moment. Lin Xian's as he retracted his fists. It didn't shatter, at least a little bit stronger as expected of someone from the Xiantian pavilion. He was strong enough to block his fist. It was simply unbelievable for an early-stage holy venerate to say such words to a middle-stage holy venerate. The T tests the case. T. In the next instant, Zhang Xian formed a series of hand seals, and his 5 elements doppelganger shone brightly. 5 weapons appeared on it, and they were held in the hands of the clone. Teet, assessed this elementals that's Lin's. Mice, the armored man's voice was piercingly cold. Then, the 5 clones quickly charged over. The elemental law's weapons in the sky gave off strong auras. The horrifying power shocked the surrounding people. It looked like the armored man was really serious, going all out. Boom, boom, boom. The battle of the 5 elemental laws erupted. Horrifying laws completely encased the area. Lin Xian's figure also vanished. Countless cracks appeared in the surroundings. The sky shook and the ground shook. It looked like that brat was defeated. Several people exclaimed. Some of the younger geniuses shook their heads. Not only was that brat defeated, but he was also severely injured. That was for sure. If the armored man had not held back, his soul would have already been destroyed. It looked like there was no suspense in this battle. A youth would not be able to obtain a spot. This was what everyone thought. However, right after the voice spoke, a sword light flashed. It flew out of the elemental laws and chopped down. It was like a heavenly sword. At this moment, the formation, the laws, and the clones all shattered. Nothing could stop it. It appeared. Jian Wux's lips curled up in a smile. The pupils of the surrounding people constricted. What a horrifying sword chi. The expressions of the others changed drastically. The sword chi was like a god, cutting through bamboo. In the blink of an eye, everything was cut apart. The armored man could not believe it. He was sent flying, the armor on his body shattered. A sword mark appeared on his body. You lost. The sword did not continue to descend. Lin Xian stopped in midair and said coldly. Everyone looked at this scene, dumbfounded. It was as if they were dreaming. Was this battle over? However, the result of the battle was out of their expectations. The one who lost was not Lin Xian, but the armored man. This armored man was a mid-stage holy king. Moreover, he was a very powerful mid-stage holy king. Otherwise, he would not be qualified to fight for a spot. But now, he was defeated by a single sword. The younger disciples did not dare to believe it. Not to mention them, even the senior generation elders sucked in a breath of cold air. This kid was too strong. What? Who is this brat that you found? In the front, the armored man's expression changed. In the end he sighed. I lost. He knew that Lin Xian had held back. Otherwise, he would have been cut in half by that sword. You let me win. Lin Xian kept his sword. Come back. You did not lose unjustly. Another elder said. Elder Zhang's body was also surrounded by powerful 5 elemental laws. He was much stronger than the armored man. He was a late-stage holy king. The armored man retreated. I have embarrassed my master. That elder said. This young man is a peerless genius. Especially that sword just now. Not to mention you, I think other people would not be able to block it. So, it is normal for you to lose. Even the eyes of the 2 grand elders lit up. This little fellow was not bad. Now, I have the right to get a spot, right? Lin Xian said again. The others nodded. However, at this moment, another voice rang out. Wait, although you defeated him, he didn't get a spot. You can only say that you have the right to fight for a spot. If you want to get it, you have to defeat me first. Another man walked out. He looked like he was also from the middle generation. The aura on his body was piercingly cold and powerful. 2 daggers appeared in his hands. The sky was filled with killing intent. It was Ling Feng. Was he going to fight too? Many people were shocked. This guy had already gotten a spot, and he was a very terrifying existence. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and a sharp glint flashed in his eyes. If you want to spar with me, I'll accompany you at any time. He also walked out. The power on his body exploded again. Chapter 45-46. At this moment, the black-winged ancestor Dark Feather spoke. Lung Feng stepped back. He is indeed qualified to get a spot. Lung Feng was stunned and wanted to say something. However, Ancestor Dark Feather shook his head. Do you still doubt my judgment? I don't dare. Lung Feng stepped back. The others were also surprised. Since the ancestor had spoken, they naturally had no objections. Just like this, Lin Xian successfully got a spot. Next, 3 people fought for it. The other spot was finally taken by a woman. All right, go back and prepare. The day of the competition is almost here. Everyone responded one after another, and then they all left. After leaving the main hall, Jian Wuk brought Lin Xian back to his territory and said, First, congratulations on getting a spot. Next, you should cultivate well. When the time comes, I will look for you. Alright, as for the others, like Lung Feng, you don't have to be hostile. He is not targeting you. It's just that they don't know you, so they don't know your strength. Your real opponents are the Sky River Sect and the Ice Feather Palace. I know. Lin Xian nodded. Indeed, in the previous battle, he only felt the fighting spirit. There was no killing intent like the Misty Peak. Therefore, Lin Xian did not kill. He came to a hall and began to cultivate in seclusion. He had already cultivated the first 12 of the Tianji 24 diagrams. Next, he would cultivate the 13th diagram. However, the remaining 12 diagrams were even more terrifying. Each diagram was much more powerful than the previous ones. And it was harder to cultivate. The time it would take would be much longer than before. Lin Xian began to cultivate patiently. The 13th diagram. About half a month later, he opened his eyes. The stars in his eyes disappeared. His eye technique was even more terrifying. He did not come out of seclusion. Instead, he thought of a place. Now that he had broken through to become a true Sage King, he was ready to explore the mysterious world in his body. Previously, he had entered the mysterious world in his body to avoid the heavenly punishment. Furthermore, This mysterious little sword had been with him from the very beginning. However, it was very strange. Back then, only Wine Lord could move freely in it. He could only enter but could not move. Now that he had become a Saint King, he was prepared to explore this place. With a thought, Lin Xian felt the world turn upside down. When he opened his eyes again, he was in that mysterious world. There was an ancient tree in front of him. It had already withered, but it still exuded a mysterious aura. The Wine Lord had been here all those years ago. Now that the Wine Lord was gone, the ancient tree was still there. Lin Xian tried walking forward. One step. He said that he felt a boundless pressure pressing down on him, wanting to tear his body apart. Ta Rin snorted coldly and used his divine body to resist. In the next moment, he realized that he had actually taken a step forward, and then a second step. Although he walked very slowly and had to use all his strength to deal with each step, he could indeed walk in this mysterious world. A radius of 100 meters was the maximum range that Lin Xian could move within. Although the distance was very short, Lin Xian was very happy. This was because he knew that this space was very mysterious and vast. As long as he became stronger, he could continue to explore. Although there was only a withered tree within a radius of 100 meters, there were good things in other places. Lin Xian stood 100 meters away and looked forward. He realized that there were some spiritual medicine seeds on the ground in front of him. No one would notice such things outside, but Lin Xian was happy, because he could feel the powerful energy contained in them. If one batch could grow, the power would be unimaginable. Next, Lin Xian cultivated his physique in this mysterious world. The pressure was very beneficial to his 9-yang divine body. There was a black ground and a mysterious cave. There were powerful formations around it. It was obvious that this was an important place of the Xintian Pavilion. Ordinary people could not enter. At this moment, Jian Wuk was holding a token and walking carefully in the formation. He came to the cave in front of him and stopped. Then, he said respectfully, "Lord Xiangtian has arrived. How is it?" A calm voice came from inside. "Very strong. A peerless genius. Not bad. When the time is right, bring him to see me." Jian Wuk accepted the order and turned to leave. Another 2 months passed. The formation outside flashed and Lin Xian walked out of this mysterious world. A man and a woman were waiting outside. They were the two people that Lin Xian had seen before. The man walked over and smiled. "Young Master Lin, right? I am Jian Shisan. This is my junior sister, Jian Wu. From now on we are family." The two of them were very polite. Lin Xian smiled. Then he asked, "Oh right, are we going to fight?" "That's right, it will be soon. But we still have to wait for half a month. We are here to ask young master if you need some cultivation resources." "Are we disturbing young master?" Lin Xian smiled. "No, I am not disturbing you. I want to come out and walk around." "Oh right, you two bring me around the Xintian Pavilion." "Okay." Since Jian Wu was happy, she said, "But we can only bring you around Elder Wuk's territory. We can't enter the territories of the other elders." Although it was called a territory, it was boundlessly vast. Elder Wuk's territory was filled with sword cultivators. Each of them carried a sword on their back and gave off a cold aura. Jian Wu was very cheerful. She told Lin Xian a lot. She even said that there was a very powerful sword saint under Elder Wushuang's command. They formed the sword sect. "Young Master Lin, why don't I bring you there to take a look?" Okay, Lin Xian was also a top swordsman. Naturally, he wanted to see these sword saint experts. They passed through a few mountains and found a valley in front of them. The valley was very huge. The sword energy inside was overflowing. It was obviously much stronger than other places. Jian Shisan pointed ahead. That was where the sword sect was. Lin Xian stood in midair and looked down. Then he was shocked. It was really strong. He realized that there were hundreds of people below. Although there weren't many of them, they were all top sword saints. Their auras were extremely terrifying. At this moment, these people were training. Their training methods were also very terrifying. In the valley below, the array flickered, forming 10 spaces. There were a few sword saints in each space, and their opponents were monsters. These beast saints were captured by the elders of the Xiantian pavilion. They were very fierce and had a murderous aura. These people were using these monsters to train. Sword energy swept across. Those monsters were also very terrifying. Their strength was even more terrifying than these sword saints. In an instant, some sword saints vomited blood and were sent flying. But soon, they charged over again. Chapter 45-47. Only by facing stronger opponents could one hone one's swordsmanship. If one were to fight someone weaker than oneself, there would be no point in cultivating. This kind of cultivation was also very dangerous. Every time, someone would be seriously injured. The effect was also very good. The strength of hundreds of swordsmen was very terrifying. They could wipe out thousands of soldiers. It could be said that countless swordsmen wanted to join Sword's Gate. Swordsman Wu explained in detail. Lin Xian nodded slightly after listening. He looked at the three figures. These three people were very strong and their swordsmanship was very outstanding. And from the looks of it, they were very young. They were young peerless swordsmen. Their opponent was a dragon sparrow. It spread its wings, forming endless wind and flames that swept over. The three of them fought with it. They were evenly matched. Gradually, the three of them gained the upper hand. Countless sword marks were left on the dragon sparrow's body. Blood flowed out. The dragon sparrow was enraged. It attacked crazily, wanting to go all out, but it was firmly suppressed. At this moment, the dragon sparrow roared, and the power in its body burst out. In an instant, the three sword saints were sent flying. The dragon sparrow roared to the sky, and the blood in its body burned. It actually tore open the array with one blow. Not good. This guy had hidden his strength before, and now he was going all out. In its current state, the dragon sparrow's power was very terrifying. It was a top existence among the Saint Kings. It was infinitely close to the late-stage Saint King. If it continued to burn its blood, it would definitely reach the late-stage Saint King. In this way, it would be a fatal threat to these sword saints. Damn it. The surrounding sword saints also roared and wanted to attack. But unfortunately, each of them had an opponent. Those monsters roared together and attacked crazily. Damn it, these guys dared to secretly contact each other. The people of Sword's Gate were crazy. In the sky, Swordsman Wu and Jian Shisan's expressions also changed. Not good, they had heard from Elder Wushuang before. This dragon sparrow was very unusual. It had the bloodline of dragons, and now it seemed that the bloodline was stronger than expected. Now that he was going all out, it would be difficult to suppress it. Should they inform Elder Wushuang? It was probably too late. Jian Wu's face was pale. The dragon sparrow spread its wings and attacked the three geniuses below. The three geniuses were also in despair. Were they going to die? They were all top-notch swordsmen and geniuses. Their future achievements were limitless. It was a pity that something unexpected had happened. Just as everyone was in despair, Lin Xian made his move. His figure flickered as he charged downward. In the next moment, he arrived between the two. Facing the dragon sparrow, Lin Fan slapped out with his palm. The man-ruler's seal blasted out with supreme might. A sky-shaking sound rang out. The dragon sparrow was blasted flying. Feathers fell from the sky, carrying endless flames as they pierced through the 9 heavens. So valiant. Many people were surprised. He was saved. The three geniuses were also stunned. They looked at the figure in front of them with shock. Who was this person? How could they not know each other? The dragon sparrow was sent flying. It raised its head and roared. The remaining blood in its veins burned rapidly. In the next moment, he transformed into a flaming divine sword and charged over. The 9 heavens and 10 earths were torn apart. Not good, dodge quickly. The three geniuses roared crazily. Lin Xian's eyes exploded with a biting cold light. This thing didn't know life from death. On his body, endless sword light transformed into a sword god. He held the unparalleled sword in his hand. The sword chi slashed down, splitting heaven and earth into 2. This sword enveloped the dragon sparrow. Heaven and earth shattered. The dragon sparrow's body split open and fell from the sky. Boundless storms swept in all directions. Everyone looked up at the sky in shock. What a powerful sword. This was a peerless sword technique. Who exactly was this person? Boom, boom. The two halves of the dragon sparrow fell to the ground, stirring up endless dust and shaking the array formation. The surrounding powerful beasts roared crazily when they saw this scene. They seemed to want to tear the array formation apart and kill Lin Xian. Lin Xian held the long sword in his hand and snorted coldly. He looked around coldly. With a glance, the beasts trembled and a hint of fear appeared in their hearts. They stopped roaring and retreated one by one. The surrounding people were all stunned. They didn't expect this young man to be so terrifying. Jian Shisan and Jian Wu were also shocked. Was it a sword technique that he used just now? It was so terrifying. They had received news that Lin Xian was a body-tempering expert. They didn't expect him to be a peerless swordsman. They didn't know who Lin Xian was. The three geniuses walked over and clasped their fists to thank Lin Xian for saving their lives. Lin Xian smiled. "You're welcome. We're on the same side from now on." The three of them were stunned. Who was Lin Xian? At this moment, Jian Wu walked over and smiled. This was the peerless genius that Elder Wuk brought back, Lin Xian, young Master Lin. "So it's you." The surrounding people of Swords Gate were shocked. They also heard that Elder Wushuang brought back a peerless genius. He even fought for a spot in the competition. They were still unconvinced before and wanted to see who he was. Now that they saw him, they were shocked. "Young Master Lin, can you teach us sword techniques?" Their eyes were filled with excitement. Lin Xian smiled. "Sure." In the following days, Lin Xian practiced sword techniques with these people in the valley. The strength of the hundreds of sword saints had also improved by leaps and bounds. Furthermore, they were all deeply impressed by Lin Xian's sword techniques. They didn't expect Lin Xian to be about the same age as them. He was even younger than them. His attainments in sword techniques were so high. He was simply a young sword god. After half a month, the competition finally came. At this moment, the atmosphere in the Xiantian Pavilion changed. It wasn't just the Xiantian Pavilion. The entire Tianxian Eastern region became nervous. Because the competition this time was related to the Spirit Path Ancient Land. It was an extremely unusual place. If one could obtain it and cultivate it, it would be of great help to one's cultivation and laws. It could be said that even these Saint Kings needed it. They were determined to obtain it. The Spirit Path Ancient Land was said to be very magical. Peerless figures had once stayed there. There was more than one. Even the young great emperor had been there. So it was very magical. It was an ancient land with a mysterious and unfathomable aura. It was like a fairyland. At this moment, there were many people gathered around the Spirit Path Ancient Land. Each of them had a powerful aura and a cold light in their eyes. Among them, some were here to participate in the competition, while others were here to watch. After all, this was an earth-shattering event. On a few mountain peaks, there were people who were extremely terrifying. Their auras suppressed the 9 heavens. They were the experts of the Eternal River Sect, Battle King Peak, and Ice Feather Hall. These were the most terrifying sects in the Tianxian Eastern region. None of them were weaker than Ethereal Sect. Chapter 45-48. The 3 overlords stood there, and the surrounding people looked up. There was an empty space on the mountain next to them, and everyone knew that it was the place of the Xiantian Pavilion. Were the people of the Xiantian Pavilion not here yet? Many people were discussing. They had also received news that the Eternal River Sect and the Frozen Feather Palace were going to join forces. If that was the case, then this battle would probably have an earth-shattering change. "They're here!" someone exclaimed. Everyone sensed and saw countless figures flying over from the distance, covering the sky and the earth. The people of the Xiantian Pavilion. Everyone held their breaths. They saw many powerful figures descending like gods and demons. Behind them were hundreds of sword chi, like peerless divine swords, cutting through the void. So terrifying, what is that? That should be one of their teams, the Sword Sect. No, I know the Sword Sect. Although they are terrifying, they are not that powerful. Why do I feel that the sword sect has grown into peerless swordsmen? Sounds of discussion could be heard as they all looked towards the direction of Jean Sword's gate. Then someone was surprised. Did you see that? In front of those peerless swordsmen, there was a figure. Who was that person? He looked unfamiliar. Everyone's eyes fell on Lin Xian. He seemed to be only an early-stage Saint King. Could such a person lead the sword sect? Countless people were surprised. Some people sneered. It seemed that the Xiantian Pavilion had lost their minds. How foolish to send such a young man as their leader. This time, the Xiantian Pavilion was probably going to lose. In the midst of countless discussions, the people of the Xiantian Pavilion landed, and the leaders were naturally the two great sage. The Lotus Ancestor and the Dark Feather Ancestor. The other three overlords also looked over. Instantly, laughter could be heard. You guys are late enough. I thought you guys didn't dare to come. The one who spoke was an old man in a blue robe. His face was old, and there was an extremely terrifying phantom of the eternal river around him. He was an old ancestor of the eternal river sect. After the Lotus Great Sage heard, he also snorted coldly. What was the use of coming early? Would they be able to win if they came early? I think you guys are thinking too much. The atmosphere between the two sides was somewhat tense. The auras of the two great sage bloomed, and the laws clashed in the air. Endless cracks spread between heaven and earth. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. It seemed like the rumors were true. Neither of these two great sage was willing to submit to the other. All right, the two of you stop quarreling. Another old woman walked over. This old woman had an extremely powerful frost aura around her and held an ice scepter in her hand. She was also a great sage. After he arrived, he began to smooth things over. On the War God Peak side, a young man who looked like a war god also walked over. The atmosphere gradually calmed down. Lin Xian stood on the mountain peak and looked around at the other three overlords. This should be their competition this time. He saw that these sects were indeed very powerful. None of them were weaker than the ethereal peak. It seemed that the upcoming battle would be a tough one. At the thought of this, he took a deep breath and a glint appeared in his eyes. He already knew that this competition was to compete for the Spirit Path Ancient Land. And if they could succeed, he would also have the qualifications to enter the Spirit Path Ancient Land. This was an excellent opportunity for him to improve his strength. How could he miss out on a few hundred years of cultivation time? So this time, he had to win. In front, the four great sage of the four major sects discussed for a while. Then, a figure walked out and said in a clear voice, I think everyone should know the rules of the Spirit Path Ancient Land this time. It's very simple. Whoever can enter the Spirit Path Ancient Land can enjoy the resources inside. As for what methods you use, we won't care. Now, those who are preparing to participate in the competition, walk forward. We will open the seal of the ancient land. Hearing this, Lin Xian took a deep breath and walked forward. The others also walked forward. These were all those who had obtained the qualifications. Near Lin Xian, Leng Feng and the others also walked out. On the other side, the people from the other three major sects also walked out. They were all hostile towards each other. Some of them even had cold smiles on their faces. The great sage in front of them formed a seal and tore open the sky. Countless Tao runes intertwined with each other and a terrifying aura spread out. This Tao spirit, this ancient land, was something left behind from the ancient era, or even more ancient times. There was a supreme aura inside. Now that the seal was opened, a terrifying power swept out. Everyone felt their bodies tremble. Some people were shocked. Even if there were no opponents, it wouldn't be easy to enter. That was indeed the case. Ordinary sage kings probably didn't have the strength to do so. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. He also felt a sense of pressure. But thinking about the resources inside, he was sure that they wouldn't disappoint him. All right, let's begin. As soon as the order was given, countless figures rushed forward. Lin Xian also rose into the air. Looking at the leaving figure, Jian Wux's lips curled into a smile. Little guy, you have to grab hold of this opportunity. Beside him, Jian Wu and Jian Shisan also asked, Elder, do you think young Master Lin will succeed this time? It was hard to say for others, but Lin Xian should have no problem. Although these people didn't know Lin Xian yet, after this battle, they would all know Lin Xian. Many figures entered the ancient land. After Lin Xian entered, he also felt a huge pressure. It was so terrifying that it could tear everything to pieces. Boom! He clenched his fist and punched out. The space in front of him split open, shattering the pressure. Then he strode forward. The others also did the same. They only had one goal: to enter the core of the ancient land. Some of the more powerful people were able to enter very quickly. They flew in from all directions. They belonged to the people at the front. Countless figures followed behind them. Lin Xian followed suit. He belonged to the latter half of the group. He wasn't in a hurry to charge forward because he couldn't make it. He wanted to observe carefully. If the Shen-Tian Pavilion's information was correct, then there would definitely be people attacking them. Lin Xian temporarily preserved his strength and flew forward at a fixed speed. A figure in front turned into a saber light and chopped down, bringing with him a surging river of light. His speed suddenly exploded. It was obvious that he wanted to charge forward. However, because he was flying too fast, he was knocked back by the power of the Great Tao. He spat out a mouthful of blood and landed near Lin Xian. Lin Xian glanced at him and shook his head. Without the strength, he still charged forward so quickly. He was courting death. "Kid, why are you shaking your head?" Chapter 45-49. The person next to him was incomparably angry. When he saw Lin Xian's expression, he was instantly enraged. There was an extremely cold, murderous intent in his eyes. Lin Xian glanced at him and said indifferently, "Do you still need me to laugh at you? Don't you know your own strength? If you don't have the strength, don't be in a hurry to die. You're courting death." The man was completely enraged. How dare Lin Xian look down on him? "Reckless fool, I want to see what qualifications you have to look down on me." He didn't continue to move forward. Instead, he stopped Lin Xian. His eyes emitted an extremely terrifying aura. A terrifying river appeared on his body. The river surged with monstrous power. Was the battle going to start so soon? The people outside were also extremely surprised when they saw this scene. Who was that kid? He should be from Shen-Tian Pavilion. However, he looked unfamiliar. Could it be that he was a newcomer? Then he was dead. The one who attacked was from Long River Sect, an extremely terrifying expert. His name was Qi Yuan. What he cultivated was an extremely terrifyingly fire river. Moreover, he was already an expert in the middle stage of the Saint King realm. That kid was only at the early stage of the Saint King realm. He couldn't resist at all. The people from Long River Sect also looked to the side and laughed. "Fellow cultivators from Shen-Tian Pavilion, I'm afraid one of you will be eliminated." If it was someone else, the spectators from Shen-Tian Pavilion would definitely be nervous. However, they weren't worried about Lin Xian. Especially those elders, they were all very calm. They had seen Lin Xian's battle before. The elder from Golden Light laughed. "Is that so? The battle hasn't started yet, and you're already so confident? I think you should be the ones who are miserable. The person who will be eliminated this time will definitely be from your Long River Sect." The people from Long River Sect were dumbfounded. These guys had water in their heads. An early stage Saint King realm wanted to resist? What a joke. Then let's wait and see. The elder from Long River Sect snorted coldly. The people from Frozen Feather Palace and Battle King Peak were also surprised. Where did Shen-Tian Pavilion get their confidence from? Qi Yuan looked at Lin Xian and sneered. "Kid, kneel down obediently now. I can do it." Before he could finish his sentence, he saw a fist flying toward him. In a moment of crisis, he raised his hand to block. The river of flames that filled the sky danced in front of him, forming a shield. The other party couldn't even break through his defense. However, he was wrong. This punch directly shattered his shield and landed on his face. There was a cracking sound. His face was smashed and the rest of his words were cut off. His entire body flew backward, and the upper half of his body turned into a bloody mist. So much nonsense. Lin Xian withdrew his fist and said indifferently, "I said that you are trash, but you still don't admit it. What was going on? How could that brat be so strong? The spectators outside were all stunned. The elder of the Long River sect narrowed his eyes. This was impossible. The people from Xiantian Pavilion smirked. They knew that this brat was extremely arrogant and would definitely not suffer a loss. The people from the other two sects were also shocked. When did the Xiantian Pavilion come out? Such a top-level genius. Inside the ancient land, Qi Yuan was dumbfounded. How was this possible? His body recovered, but his expression was extremely ugly. Until now, he still couldn't believe that the other party could injure him. Damn brat, how dare you injure me? You have thoroughly enraged me. Go to hell. The river that filled the sky charged over with monstrous flames, turning into countless giant dragons that danced and galloped. Lin Xian roared and punched out. At the same time, the primordial demon mountain pressed down from the sky, suppressing the leaf fire river that filled the sky. The man-ruler's seal flew out and once again exploded the other party's body. Damn it. Qi Yuan was completely terrified. Who was this guy? He was too strong. He was no match for him. Retreat quickly. He fled to the back. Lin Xian looked at the other party's back and sneered. He struck out a sword Qi and destroyed the other party. With this delay, Lin Xian had fallen far behind, but he didn't care. He stomped his feet and grabbed forward with both hands. The entire void was torn into two by him. A vacuum crack appeared, and his speed instantly increased by several times. He was too strong. This brat was an expert. Seeing this scene, countless people were shocked. The people from the Xiantian Pavilion had smiles on their faces. Not bad. They were very satisfied with the little brat that Wuk brought. However, the people from the Long River sect had ugly expressions. They were defeated by a young man right from the start, which made them lose face. Especially when they had said arrogantly that they wouldn't be defeated. This was a slap to their faces. What was there to be proud of? The elders of the Long River sect darkened. It seemed that the plan had begun. Let's do it. They secretly formed seals with their palms and issued an order. Inside the ancient land, the eyes of the people from the Long River sect lit up, and then they nodded one by one. The three figures nearby slowly slowed down and approached Lin Xian. Lin Xian's soul was so strong that he instantly sensed it. He immediately narrowed his eyes. Were they going to attack? And there were three of them. He could sense that two of them should be from the Long River sect. The other person had a cold aura. Could it be from the Ice Feather Palace? They had indeed joined forces. But so what? He didn't put the three of them in his eyes. The three of them were hidden in the void. Ordinary people couldn't detect them at all. Perhaps people of the same level didn't know the danger. Lin Xian laughed coldly. All right, with just this little trick of yours, there's no way you can hide anything from me. Come out. There was no movement around. The three of them were very experienced. They knew that this might be a bluff. Lin Xian said coldly, "What? You still don't want to come out? Do you want me to catch you?" He waved his hand and hit the void behind him. The void there shattered, and a figure retreated with a gloomy face. He had actually been discovered. Kid, since you want to die, we'll fulfill your wish. He flew over. At the same time, the void on both sides shattered, and two more figures walked out. The three people appeared and surrounded Lin Xian. The people outside were stunned when they saw this scene. They were two experts from the Eternal River sect, and one was an expert from the Frost Feather Palace. Unexpectedly, they had attacked together. They had indeed joined forces. That kid was really miserable. He was besieged by three experts. No matter how strong he was, it would be difficult for him to resist. This time, the people from the Xiantian Pavilion were also nervous. Although they knew that Lin Xian was very strong, facing three middle-stage Saint Kings, he could only flee. Hopefully he could escape. This time, let's see if you can still laugh. The people from the Long River sect looked over and sneered. The people from the Ice Feather Palace also had confident smiles. Not good, young Master Lin is in danger. Jian Wu was nervous, and her face was pale. Jian Shisan also gritted his teeth. Damn it. So despicable. Chapter 4550. Lose face? One of the people on the other side sneered. In front of absolute strength, everything is futile. Our goal is only the ancient lands. Who dares to attack us? For the destruction of all our paths, damn it. Elder Golden Light's expression was also cold. Hurry up and inform those people to pay attention. They must not be besieged again. The only person who was calm was Jianwuk. Jianwuk naturally knew Lin Xian's strength. Even a late-stage Sage King could not do anything to Lin Xian. He could even block an attack from the Great Sage. These 3 middle-stage Saint Kings would not be able to do anything to him. However, Jianwuk's expression also sank. The other party's actions also annoyed him. Brat, you killed our Eternal River Sex people. You really have guts. Originally, I wanted to let you die easily. However, it seems that is not possible now. The woman from Frostfeather Hall also snorted coldly. Why waste time talking to him? Just finish him off. Alright, since the fairy has spoken, let's end this quickly. As soon as they finished speaking, their eyes shone with a cold light. Terrifying laws flew out from their bodies, sweeping through the 9 heavens. It seemed that they did not intend to hold back at all. Lin Xian's lips curled up in a smile. Are you sure you want to join forces? His eyes shone with a golden light as he looked at the woman from Frostfeather Hall. The woman in blue was stunned. In the next moment, her eyes also shone with a golden light. A golden light shone on him. She stopped in her tracks and viciously slapped at the people from the Eternal River sect. Boom! Ice and snow danced, forming a world of ice and snow. The expert beside her was instantly sent flying. Endless ice and snow appeared on his body, and then he was turned into an ice sculpture. What's going on? The other person from the Eternal River sect was stunned. Why did the other party attack him? Didn't they join forces? Damn it, what are you doing? However, just as he finished speaking, the woman attacked him again. The monstrous ice and snow melted, continuously attacking. That person retreated step by step. Ice and snow covered his body. Damn it, do you want to die? The power of the Eternal River erupted, forming 9 rivers that enveloped him. Are you crazy? Not only him, but the people outside were also stunned. The elders of the Eternal River sect could not believe it. They turned their heads to look at the Frostfeather Palace. Damn it, what's going on? Didn't we agree on this? Didn't you tell your people? The people of Frostfeather Palace were also stunned. How could this be? I've said it long ago. Damn it, what the hell is going on? In an instant, countless people were discussing. Meanwhile, in the valley below, those people had already started fighting. Lin Xian stood with his hands clasped behind his back, completely forgetting about this scene. The corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile. These people could not withstand his eye technique at all. Therefore, with just a few tricks, these people were no match for him at all. Great, these guys are going to fight. The sword danced and cheered. Jian Shisan was also surprised. Young Master Lin's luck was really good to actually encounter such a thing. Wuk's eyes flickered. Was he lucky? He did not think so. Come to think of it, he must have used an eye technique. Ancient lands. Many people were still charging ahead. A figure stood in the void, looking into the distance. His body carried endless blade light. He was called Lung Feng. Lung Feng looked at the battle in the distance and was also surprised. This kid was a little interesting. Luck was also a part of one's strength. On the other side, a tall man's face sank. He did not encounter me. Encountering me, no matter how good his luck is, it will turn into nothingness. Another woman also flew over. Her face was cold, and she had a pair of blue wings on her back. She frowned and said, Chongqing, I don't know what happened before, but it's certain that we joined hands. I think something unexpected must have happened. This woman was a very terrifying expert of the Frostfeather Palace. Her name was Bing Wei. The other man was an expert of the Eternal River sect. His name was Chongqing. Chongqing frowned slightly, but soon smiled. Of course, we joined hands and went in to confirm this matter. Don't bother with those ants. It's not a problem at all. Our opponents this time are still others. For example, that Lung Feng. Speaking of this, Chongqing's eyes burst with an extremely cold light. This time, I must trample him under my feet. On the other side, Lin Xian did not care about those people at all. He soared into the sky and went on his way again. Like a golden god of war, his speed and strength were extremely powerful, surpassing many people. The surrounding people were shocked. However, Lin Xian had defeated Qi Yuan and was extremely lucky to escape the pursuit of the three people. For a while, they did not dare to make a move on this kid. Lin Xian was naturally happy to see this. His speed was very fast, and soon he surpassed most people and came to the front. There were still some people in front of him, but their numbers were very small. These people's auras were extremely terrifying. There were also some changes in the terrain in front of him. There were some ancient stairs. It seemed that one had to go through these stairs to reach the destination. A golden light swept across his eyes, and he looked at the people on the stairs. There were not many people, but without exception, they were very powerful. They had surpassed most people and had a very good chance of entering the real ancient land. These people are very strong. It's interesting that they can make me take them seriously. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up into a smile. There were 6 figures on the stairs, and they turned their heads to look at him. There was a terrifying power in their eyes. These people were also experts, and at this moment, they stood here and did not immediately move forward. Instead, they looked behind them. It seemed that they were planning to clean up some people. They took the lead to look at Lin Xian, and an extremely sharp light appeared in their eyes. Although this kid was only in the early stage of the Holy King realm, he was not to be underestimated. Even so, he could not defeat the 6 of them. Lin Xian also saw these 6 people. Suddenly, the corners of his mouth curled up into a cold smile, and his figure flashed and rushed over. The 6 people were instantly angry. Was he courting death? He was challenging them. There were other directions to the front, but this guy did not choose to go in their direction. If this was not a challenge to them, what was it? It couldn't be that guy was going to attack the 6 of them? What a joke. Who did he think he was? Did he think that he would be so lucky every time? The people who were watching the battle outside went crazy. The 6 people snorted coldly, and when they joined forces, they struck out a terrifying law. It was like a canyon between heaven and earth, blocking everything. There was only one outcome for those who went against them, and that was death. In the face of such a terrifying joint attack, Lin Xian did not have the slightest intention of retreating. Instead, he sped up. He pressed forward, and no one could stop his footsteps. He was courting death. They had already warned him. Since he did not know what was good for him, he could not blame them. Chapter 45-51. The 6 of them attacked. Terrifying laws and vast heaven and earth charged towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian formed a seal with both hands. In the sky, the primordial demon mountain descended. Heaven and earth kept shaking as if it was going to suppress everything. Boom! This mountain was really too terrifying. It was as if it had crossed through time and space. The laws between heaven and earth kept shattering. The pupils of the 6 figures also shrank. Damn it, retreat quickly. They retreated one after another. The power of this mountain was beyond their imagination. As they retreated, they attacked again. Lin Xian waved his fist and fought with them, causing their arms to go numb. In the blink of an eye, the 2 sides had already collided. Then, Lin Xian stood on the primordial demon mountain and looked down at the surroundings. The 6 people around him retreated with pale faces. Their faces were full of shock. The power displayed by the other party was too strong, so strong that it was beyond their imagination. For a moment, they did not dare to make a move rashly. They even suspected that Lin Xian was really lucky to escape from the attacks of the 3 of them. Was it not because he used other secret techniques? The surrounding people were stunned when they saw this scene. This guy was really strong and he was too bold. The Xintian pavilion also held their breaths. Swordsman Wu's face was pale and extremely nervous. Jian Shisan also said, "I'm afraid I've seen a scene that I haven't seen in 1,000 years." Next, there would be an earth-shattering battle. Everyone was looking forward to it. He wondered if Lin Xian would be able to withstand it. However, what was surprising was that there was no battle. The 6 figures fell silent. They turned their heads and seemed to be deliberately avoiding Lin Xian. On the primordial demon mountain, Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. It seemed that these people were afraid when facing him. Thinking of this, he sneered. Those who were timid in their hearts were not worthy of being his opponent. He turned around and soared into the sky, continuing to fly forward. The situation here surprised everyone. They did not expect that the 6 experts would not dare to make a move even after joining forces. Could it be that they were not confident in their hearts? When the great saints who were watching the battle saw this, their eyes lit up as well. The elders of the mysterious sky pavilion smiled. Great, they were very satisfied with what they had found this time. It was beyond their expectations. The Lotus ancestor nodded in satisfaction. The young disciples of the Xiantian pavilion were shocked. Their old ancestor was a great sage. There were very few people who could satisfy their old ancestor. At least, they hadn't seen it yet. The experts of the Eternal River Sect and Frostfeather Palace looked extremely gloomy. Their great sage snorted coldly. At present, it seemed to be doing well, but whether or not it could continue to grow was still unknown. Only a genius who matured would be a true peerless genius. Evidently, they were very displeased with such a scene. Inside the ancient land, Lin Xian escaped the siege of the 6 experts and continued to rush forward. He was getting closer and closer to the central area. At this point, he had surpassed most of the people. The people in front of him were getting fewer and fewer. Finally, only a few people were left. Lin Xian knew one of them. It was Ling Feng. The other few were unfamiliar. They were experts from other sections. However, their auras were extremely terrifying. The few figures in front turned their heads as well. They looked at Lin Xian with a look of surprise in their eyes. They did not expect that Lin Xian was qualified to come here. Ling Feng was also surprised. He had also seen the previous scene. The 6 experts did not dare to make a move. One could imagine how invincible Lin Xian was at that moment. This guy was beyond his imagination. He was indeed qualified to come here. Now, he had recognized Lin Xian's strength. Moreover, Lin Xian belonged to their camp. He could help him fight against the other experts. But after Lin Xian arrived, another ear-piercing sound rang out from behind them. Everyone was even more surprised. Who else could come? They turned their heads and found that it was an expert from the Battle King Peak. He was also very young. His strength and physique were very strong. The fact that he could come here was enough to prove it. Interesting. An expert from the Long River sect smiled. He did not expect a dark horse to appear this time. Unfortunately, you came at the wrong time. You met me. I'm afraid it will be difficult for you to continue. A woman from the Ice Feather Palace said coldly. She said that there were too many people. She had to get rid of a few. As soon as she said that, their faces changed. Many people's eyes fell on Lin Xian. At the same time, the young man who came later also received attention. The 2 of them were young newcomers. It was not easy for them to come here. Who should they get rid of first? Only these 2 people, right? If you want to get rid of them, you can try. Ling Feng walked out. His body was emitting a terrifying saber light. Do you think you can touch the people of the Xiantian Pavilion just because you want to? Ling Feng, do you think that no one can suppress you? The expert from the Long River sect walked out. His name was Chongqing. His aura was abnormally terrifying. Today, I would like to see if your saber technique is as powerful as the legends say. The aura between the 2 of them was getting colder and colder. At this time, Lin Xian also spoke. You wanted to kill me before. You want to get rid of me? Let's see if you have the right to do so. Hearing that, the surrounding people were shocked. In their opinion, it was normal for Ling Feng and Chongqing to confront each other. After all, both of them were top experts and belonged to different sections. Neither of them was willing to submit to the other. Lin Xian walked out. They felt that he was overestimating himself. No matter how strong this guy was, could he be stronger than Ling Feng? Could he compete with Chongqing? Sure enough, Chongqing sneered. You're courting death. You're not qualified to be my opponent. Whether you're qualified or not, you'll know once you try. You released your killing intent to me before. Today, no matter what, I won't let you go. Lin Xian walked out. His body was emitting a terrifying killing intent. Leng Feng also frowned. Junior brother Lin, let me deal with this person. He knew how terrifying Chongqing was. Lin Xian looked at Leng Feng and smiled. Don't worry. He doesn't need senior brother Leng's help. I can deal with him. Bing Wei and the others were stunned. They couldn't believe it. Chongqing was also stunned. After a while, he looked up to the sky and laughed. His voice was cold. Leng Feng, I didn't expect an arrogant guy to come out of Xiantian Pavilion. Since he wants to die, I'll fulfill his wish. The people outside were in an uproar. They didn't expect Lin Xian to dare to challenge Chongqing. In their opinion, it was too difficult. Leng Feng was probably the only one who could compete with Chongqing. Isn't this guy too reckless? Sword Dance and the others were worried for Lin Xian. Those from Eternal River sect sneered. They didn't know what was good for them. The great sage sneered. Sure enough, only those who survived were true geniuses. Some geniuses were probably going to fall now. They believed that Chongqing could easily kill Leng Feng. Chapter 45-52. Ignorant brat, let me deal with you personally. It will be your honor. Chongqing walked out. As he walked out, 3,000 Daos surged under his feet, looking like 3,000 great Daos. This number was extraordinary. The law energy in Chongqing's body surged continuously. He was almost a late-stage holy venerate. This fellow was even stronger than before. Leng Feng frowned. Even if Leng Feng wanted to make a move, it would be a bitter battle. Leng Feng was only 50% confident of defeating Chongqing. If he let Lin Xian make a move now, how confident would he be? Probably less than 50%. This fellow hid his strength earlier. Bing Wei's lips curled up in a smile. It looked like there was no more suspense in this battle. 3,000 Long River. Peak cultivation. Chongqing was indeed a powerful expert. The people outside exclaimed. The Long River sect's people smiled coldly as they looked at the Profound Heaven Pavilion. The Profound Heaven Pavilion's people also frowned heavily. Sword Dance. They were extremely anxious. Elder, send a voice projection to young Master Lin. Don't let him fight. That's right. The Long River sect will definitely kill him. If he loses, young Master Lin might die. The other elders also looked over. However, Jian Wuk took a deep breath. Very soon, you will see that his strength is far beyond your imagination. Jian Wuk did not say anything else. Instead, he looked forward to it. Just wait. Wait for Lin Xian to show off his brilliance. Lin Xian felt the terrifying law energy from Chongqing and nodded slightly. Chongqing was indeed very strong. He was much stronger than the others that Lin Xian had seen. He was still not a match for Lin Xian. Chongqing's serious expression attracted the mockery of the surrounding people. Bing Wei shook her head and smiled coldly. This fellow did not know the immensity of heaven and earth. Making a move now was not a wise choice. Indeed, when Chongqing heard that, his expression turned completely cold. The killing intent in his eyes materialized into a sword that pierced through the sky. Foolish ant. Soon, you will not be able to be arrogant anymore. The sword formed by Chongqing's gaze directly flew out. Terrifying laws surrounded it as it pierced through the sky. Even a middle-stage holy king would not be able to block this attack. They would be torn to shreds. Countless people exclaimed, "Quickly dodge." They were hoping that Lin Xian would be fast enough to dodge this attack. However, Lin Xian did not dodge at all. Instead, he extended a hand and grabbed forward. What an idiot! Many people sneered. Could it be that Yi Futian really thought that he had the strength to contend against Chongqing? Boom! An earth-shattering sound erupted between heaven and earth. Countless cracks spread out in all directions with the two of them as the center. Everyone thought that Lin Xian would have ceased to exist under that attack, or that he would have been torn apart. It's over. Bing Wei shook her head. The other experts also sighed. They were too weak. Leng Feng's face was cold. He pulled out the long saber on his back and was ready to attack. Suddenly he froze. No way! Leng Feng's face was filled with shock. The smiles on the faces of the others also disappeared. They saw a golden palm reach out from the cracks that filled the sky. It shone with boundless radiance, completely unharmed. The sharp arrow was caught by the golden hand like a fish, unable to escape at all. I already said that you are not strong enough to be arrogant in front of me. Lin Xian's voice rang out. He exerted force in his palm and the sharp arrow shattered into pieces, falling from his fingers. This guy actually managed to block it. Has his physique already reached such a level? Countless people exclaimed. The experts of the Eternal River sect could not believe it. The people of the Xintian Pavilion also exclaimed. Elder Golden Light's face was filled with shock. He looked at Jian Wuk and asked, could this guy have the legendary physique of the universe? The difference in cultivation between the two of them was too great. Other than the immemorial imperial physique, only the legendary physiques could block it. However, he did not know which physique Yi Futian was. Jian Wuk smiled. That's right, it is indeed the legendary physique. As for the specifics, you will know when you continue watching. Elder Golden Light was very unhappy that you were still keeping us in suspense. However, he was also filled with anticipation. He did not know what kind of power this little guy would display next. What, is this your strength? I don't deserve to be arrogant. Lin Xian looked forward and smiled faintly. Chongqing's face was ashen. He gritted his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. He could not believe that Yi Futian was qualified to block his attack. The laws all over his body bloomed with a dazzling light. He took a step forward and shouted coldly, "Good kid, so you have also hidden your strength and cultivated a powerful body refinement technique. However, so what if you have cultivated the Zhang 6 golden body? You are still not my match." The 3,000-long river seemed to have come alive as it rushed over. It was too terrifying. Everyone exclaimed in shock. Once again, they were worried for Lin Xian. Lin Xian was not afraid. He stretched out his palm and divine flames surged into the sky, forming a golden crow that swept in all directions. Boom, boom, boom. He punched out and collided with the 3,000-long river. A terrifying power surged. The battle was extremely intense. He blocked it. He really blocked it. The Zhang 6 golden body elder was extremely excited. He looked at Lin Xian as if he was looking at a treasure. Yi Futian's physique was really too strong. It surprised him. Chongqing's face was cold. Yi Futian was actually able to contend with him and not be at a disadvantage. 3,000 as one. Suddenly he let out a roar. His biting cold voice spread out in all directions. The 3,000-long river quickly merged, forming a long river that was eternal and unique. Accompanying it was an extremely terrifying power of laws that seemed to have turned into a peerless divine sword, causing countless people to be terrified. The long river descended from the sky and destroyed everything. Its aura made one's hair stand on end. Countless people were terrified. It was too powerful. This was the ultimate technique of the Long River sect. When Chongqing used it, it was truly terrifying to the extreme. Lin Xian naturally felt a sense of danger. It was very powerful, but so what? He roared, and the smile on his face disappeared. The 9-yang divine body was completely released as he punched out. It was as if a sun was rampaging between heaven and earth, charging forward. A dazzling light illuminated the entire ancient land. No one could open their eyes. Elder Golden Light's pupils constricted. What a terrifying power. It was like the light of the sun. Could it be the legendary 9-yang divine body? Boom, boom, boom. The power shook the heavens. With a punch, everything was destroyed. The only long river was sent flying, and it was covered with cracks. A vast sea swept across the sky. Chongqing was also sent flying. Heavens, what a terrifying power. Was he really just an early-stage Saint King? What kind of physique was that? How could it be so terrifying? The spectators were in an uproar, their voices shaking the 9 heavens. The experts of the Long River sect also did not dare to believe it. They were very confident in Chongqing's strength. How could he be sent flying? Chapter 45-53. The Divine Body of 9 Yang. It was said to be an extremely strong body. Who would have thought that it would appear now? Hearing the great sage's words, the surrounding people were in an uproar. No wonder this kid was so strong. He had a super strong body. Many envious voices sounded. The people of the Shintian pavilion were also very surprised. With such a body, his future was limitless. In the ancient land, Changqing's expression became very ugly. Bing Wei also said, "Be careful. This guy's body is very unusual. It might be the legendary divine body." Divine body? Changqing's eyes shone fiercely. So what? Kid, if you were at the same level as me, I would turn around and run. Unfortunately, you just entered the Saint King realm. And I'm about to enter the late stage of the Saint King realm. Even if you have a divine body, I will suppress you today. The palm continued to close in, and the single river once again transformed into 3,000 rivers that circled around him and fused with him. Just like the first battle armor class. Not only that, but his power was also unparalleled. Although I don't have the Taigu Imperial body and my body is not as strong as your divine body, my attainments in the Great Path are not something you can imagine. Now, I'll let you feel my divine powers. Terrifying power spread out in all directions. It was indeed much stronger than before. Countless people were amazed. The people of the Long River sect also laughed. Changqing's divine powers and profound meanings were rare. It could definitely make up for the difference in physique. More importantly, his cultivation level was much higher than his opponents. So, it was not certain who would win this battle. The 3,000 rivers are all under my control. What do you have to fight me? As his voice fell, Changqing waved his palm again. Terrifying power surged and instantly formed a cage, trapping Lin Xian. Lin Xian struck out with a terrifying fist. He turned into a golden crow and fought back. Useless kid, Changqing snorted. He also used his trump card. Lin Xian was definitely not his match. As the long rivers surged, the sky and the earth cracked, causing the spectators to continuously retreat. Even Lung Feng was shocked. Lin Xian still had such a secret technique? This was truly beyond his expectations. Man Ruler Seal. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He formed a seal with his palm and the Human King descends struck out, shattering the opponent's attack. Changqing roared. His 3,000 clones returned to the immortal country. 3,000 phantoms ran between the heavens and the earth, connecting with each other. Each of the phantoms formed a seal with a vast surging power, sounding like the sound of the heavens. It was as if a celestial kingdom had descended from the sky. Lin Xian frowned slightly. The other party's divine abilities and laws were indeed very strong. However, it was time to end this round. The primordial demonic mountain descended from the sky, colliding with the celestial empire. The man-ruler's seal swept through the 3,000 doppelgangers. His divine body was pushed to the extreme, and both sides fought fiercely. Boom, boom. After an intense collision, Lin Xian retreated. His face was pale, but his eyes were even sharper. On the other side, the 3,000 doppelgangers split apart. Changqing's body fell from the sky and was suppressed by the immemorial demonic mountain. The laws of divine abilities were indeed very strong, but that was all there was to it. Lin Xian stood on the primordial devil mountain and looked down. Changqing was actually defeated. The spectators outside were stunned. The people of the Eternal River sect couldn't believe it. Damn it, was the power of the divine body so strong? This was only the early stage of the Saint King realm. If he reached the late stage of the Saint King realm, how terrifying would he be? They didn't dare to imagine. A great sage sighed and looked at Frostfeather Hall. Then he said, "It's already the end. Let's do it." The old woman of Frostfeather Hall nodded. Then she formed a seal with her palm and transmitted a sound. Inside, Bing Wei received the news. She took a deep breath, and a cold light flashed in her eyes. She struck out with her palm. An icy wind flew out and danced in the sky, attacking Lin Xian. Lin Xian's divine fire turned into a golden crow and fought against it. In the end, he flew down from the primordial demonic mountain and attacked Bing Wei. Changqing used the 3,000 long river to blast open the primordial demonic mountain. Damn it. As soon as he came out, he roared to the sky and spat out a mouthful of blood. It was too embarrassing. He was defeated by a newcomer in front of tens of thousands of strong cultivators. It was really shameful. He said, "Let's work together. This is already the final moment. Clean up all the people of Xiantian Pavilion. Next, this ancient land will be ours." That's right. Bing Wei also walked out. The ice emitted from her body made her look like a god of ice. It seemed that the final battle was about to begin. Countless people were surprised. Lung Feng stood out. "Do you think our Xiantian Pavilion is afraid of you?" Lin Xian was stronger than Changqing, so it wouldn't be a problem for him to deal with Bing Wei. They still had the advantage. But soon, their advantage was gone. After Changqing and Bing Wei, another man walked out. This person also had a terrifying cold aura surrounding him. It was someone from Frostfeather Hall again. His name was Hanyu. He was also a very terrifying expert of the generation. 3 against 2. It would be dangerous. Many people exclaimed. The people of Xiantian Pavilion also frowned. In this way they would be suppressed, but they might still have a chance. Even if they couldn't win, they could still escape unscathed. With just you guys? I'm not afraid even if there's one more person. Lung Feng roared angrily, and the saber light around him was biting cold. It was time to go all out. Changqing sneered. "Why do you think it's 2 against 3? Are you very confident? How naive. Do you think our Long River sect only has this little trump card this time? If there's one more person, can you still resist? Is there anyone else?" The surrounding people were all stunned. Are there any more experts in the Long River sect? The people of Xiantian Pavilion frowned and looked at the Long River sect. "What are you doing? Are you bluffing?" The elder of the Long River sect sneered. "You'll find out soon. This time, everyone from Xiantian Pavilion will be eliminated. No one will be able to enter." As soon as he finished speaking, the stalwart man who had been silent all this time walked out from the ancient land. He was an expert from Battle King Peak. Like a god of war, he had been watching the battle silently. At this moment, he moved. He walked forward and stood next to Changqing. What? Countless people were in an uproar. They were dumbfounded and couldn't believe it. Battle King Peak had also joined forces with the Long River sect? What was going on? 4 experts against 2. This was a complete suppression. It's over. This time, Xiantian Pavilion is really finished. These 4 experts, in addition to Battle King Feng's Dark Horse, were equivalent to 5 against 2. It could be said that the pressure was very great. Lin Xian's side was in danger. "Damn it. When did you make a move?" The elder of Xiantian Pavilion roared. Jian Wuk also frowned. Their information only said that Frostfeather Hall had joined forces with the other party. Chapter 45-54. The surrounding people were stunned. The 3 overlords were actually working together to deal with Xiantian Pavilion. Xiantian Pavilion would definitely lose this time. In the ancient land, Xiantian Pavilion only had Lin Xian and Lung Feng. No matter how the 2 of them fought against the 5 of them, they had no chance of winning. Thinking of the situation that Lin Xian and the rest were about to face, they all felt their blood boiling. Many people felt their scalps go numb. So this is their true trump card. Jian Wuk frowned. Jian Wu, Jian Shisan and the rest were completely stunned. They felt despair. In the ancient land, the man from Zhanwang Peak was called Feng Zhan. He said loudly, "Lung Feng, take your men and leave. Otherwise, you will end up in a miserable state." Lung Feng also said, "I didn't expect you to work with them. Where's your pride?" The people from Zhanwang Peak were extremely arrogant and disdained to work with others. Hence, Lung Feng didn't expect such a situation. Feng Zhan shook his head. "Nothing is absolute in this world. They gave me an offer that I couldn't refuse. All right, I can let Lung Feng go. As for this brat, I want him dead." Changqing stared at Lin Xian with killing intent in his eyes. He had lost to Lin Xian in front of everyone. He couldn't accept it. He had to kill Lin Xian to prove himself. Lung Feng's expression changed. "Damn it, how dare you? Aren't you afraid that Xiantian Pavilion will attack you? One must know that defeating and killing were two different concepts. Lung Feng, get lost. Otherwise, I'll kill you too. Chang Qing roared, his eyes filled with terrifying killing intent. You want to kill me? With just you? Is this your final trump card? What a joke, I thought it was a powerful trump card. Lin Xian's laughter resounded in the area. The surrounding people were stunned. Is this madness before death? I think this brat has gone crazy from despair. That's right. If such a lineup isn't desperate, what kind of trump card does he have? This is a scene of certain death. You're still laughing when you're about to die. I think you're hopeless. Bing Wei snorted. Lin Xian ignored her. He looked at Lung Feng and said, I'll give you 2 people. You don't have to defeat them. You just have to make sure you don't get injured. What about the remaining 3? Lung Feng asked. Lin Xian said proudly. Leave the remaining 3 to me. I will let them know what true despair is. You want to fight 1 against 3? Lung Feng exclaimed. Countless people were stupefied. Was this brat speaking the truth? Chang Qing laughed loudly. Bingwei, did you hear that? What did he say? He wanted to fight 1 against 3. Brat, even if the weakest 3 were given to you, you still wouldn't be able to defeat them. Not to mention 3, even 2 people would be enough to completely suppress you. I've said it before, your trump cards are nothing in front of me. Do you think you're strong just because you've joined hands today? I will let you know the consequences of offending me. Lin Xian's voice was sonorous. Then he said, leave these 3 to me. As for the other 2, you can deal with them yourself. After he finished speaking, his large hand swept across the sky and slapped forward. This move enveloped Chang Qing, Bing Wei, and Feng Zhan. These were the 3 strongest people. You're courting death. Bing was slightly angry. Was the other party looking down on her? Feng Zhan's face also darkened. I want to see how arrogant you are. Chang Qing laughed loudly. Stupid ant, I'll kill you in 1 move. As soon as the 3 of them finished speaking, a terrifying power soared into the sky and attacked the palm in the sky. In an instant, the wind and clouds changed, and countless large cracks spread out. The people in the distance were stunned when they saw this scene. Were they really going to fight? Many people closed their eyes, not daring to see Lin Xian's end. Was there still hope? The elders of Xiantian Pavilion also sighed. Lin Xian was strong and could defeat Chang Qing. He also had a divine body, but unfortunately, he was facing 3 experts this time. Both Bing Wei and Feng Zhan were not weaker than Chang Qing. If Lin Xian's cultivation had reached the middle stage of the Saint King realm, he would definitely have the strength to fight. But now, it was still too early. Not good. When Lung Feng saw the scene, he wanted to intervene. In the end, another expert from Frostfeather Palace and the Dark Horse from Battle King Peak stopped him. Your opponent is us. The aura from the 2 of them was equally terrifying. Lung Feng's face was cold. Even he felt pressured when facing 2 experts, let alone Lin Xian who was facing 3 people. In front, Bing Wei and the other 2 completely surrounded Lin Xian. They released their laws, wanting to suppress Lin Xian. Lin Xian stood there, feeling the pressure around him, but the corner of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. The 3 of them were indeed strong. When the 3 of them joined forces, it was even more terrifying. They had already surpassed Zhan Zongsheng and the other 2. But so what? Back then, the Holy Heaven's old ancestor had not been able to kill him, let alone the 3 of them. Kid, you should be proud that you can die in our hands. Chang Qing said coldly. Indeed, it was a great honor for Lin Xian to be attacked by the 3 experts. Lin Xian laughed when he heard that. Do you really think that the 3 of you can kill me? I'll give you a chance to scram. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. You're courting death. Hurry up and attack. The 3 of them released their laws. Lin Xian snorted as well. His 9-yang divine body shone brightly, as if he had turned into a sun war god. Powerful energy surged out in an instant. The 3 of them felt the energy, and their faces changed. Especially Chang Qing, who was extremely shocked. He realized that his current strength was even stronger than when he had fought with Lin Xian previously. This meant that Lin Xian had not used his full strength when he fought with Lin Xian previously. Damn it, how strong is Lin Xian now? Let's go. At this moment, Feng Zhan attacked. He punched out, and the wind blades in the sky gathered on his fist. He then slammed it forward. This palm was called the Divine Wind Palm. This was War King Peak's ultimate skill. The people in the distance exclaimed. This super skill was extremely terrifying. With one palm, the wind and clouds in the 9 heavens changed. It could destroy a world in an instant. Bing Wei also attacked. She formed a seal with her palms, and 2 ice phoenixes intertwined. They attacked Lin Xian from 2 directions. The sky was filled with ice, freezing the surroundings. The ice laws could freeze everything. Go to hell, kid. Chang Qing also attacked. The 3,000 rivers turned into one, circling around his palm as he slammed it out. The 3 top-notch fighters struck out at Lin Xian at that moment. If Lin Xian could not withstand it, he would be turned into ashes in an instant. It's over. This battle is over. The person in the distance sighed. The people of the Eternal River sect sneered. He was proud enough to be famous in the world, even though he had fallen from today onwards. It was a pity that such a genius was lost. The experts of the Frostfeather Hall also sighed. The people of the Shen-Tian Pavilion gritted their teeth. Damn it. The 2 great sages' faces were also cold, and their eyes were filled with killing intent. They did not attack because the other 3 sects also had great sage. If they attacked, the flames of war would be even bigger. When the time came, there would be no end to it. They could only say that they were not prepared enough to let the 3 sects join forces. Chapter 45-55. Lin Xian took a deep breath in the face of the 3's attacks. His smile disappeared. In the next moment, he made his move. The Man-Ruler's seal attacked the Wind God Palm. Boom! The power of his divine body was pushed to the extreme. Like a Man-Ruler, he struck out with his palm, extinguishing the storm in the sky. When the 2 collided, the sky fell and the earth cracked. The Wind God Palm was instantly suppressed and became dim. Boom! After a short stalemate, the Wind God Palm was shattered. Feng Zhan retreated, his face pale. How was this possible? He couldn't believe that his full-strength attack couldn't do anything to the other party. What kind of palm was that? It was like a celestial emperor had descended with boundless dominance. After repelling Feng Zhan, Lin Xian condensed countless laws in his left hand, forming a sword chi that slashed at the 2 ice phoenixes. With a slash, the sky fell and the earth cracked. The ice and sword chi of the 2 ice phoenixes collided, creating a loud sound. Countless amounts of frost attempted to seal the sword chi. However, the might of this sword chi was simply too strong. The sword chi was incomparably sharp and could destroy everything. The 2 ice phoenixes were split apart by the sword. Fairy Bing Wei was also sent flying, vomiting blood. Her face was full of shock. In the blink of an eye, the 2 experts had been injured and retreated, leaving only Chang Qing. Facing the terrifying palm, Lin Xian didn't make a move. The golden light in his eyes burst out, forming endless runes. Are you arrogant? Are you strong? But you can't even withstand a single blow from me. Actually, you're just an ant. Lin Xian's soul attack rushed into the other party's mind, causing his confidence to collapse. Chang Qing roared crazily as if he had gone mad. He also vomited blood. The surrounding people were stunned. Facing the top attacks of 3 experts, this was a sure-death situation. Lin Xian only threw out a punch, a sword, and a gaze to break the sure-kill situation. This was simply heaven-defying. Damn it, I'm not dreaming, am I? Countless people exclaimed. The pupils of the Eternal River sect's experts shrank. Impossible, how did he do it? The people of the Ice Palace also sucked in a cold breath. That sword was too sharp. Didn't he have a divine body? How could he be an unparalleled swordsman? Could a person be proficient in 2 divine arts? No, it wasn't just 2. There was a final gaze. A single glance was enough to cause Chang Qing to collapse. This was definitely a soul attack. This person actually possessed 3 ultimate techniques. It was truly inconceivable. At this moment, The great sage's eyes also exploded with an extremely cold light as he stared fixedly at Lin Xian. The dark feather great sage laughed heartily. What a certain death situation. What an exceptional genius. He sneered. Geniuses were geniuses, regardless of whether they were alive or dead. They were incomparable to others. The faces of the great sage from the other sects turned cold. Those youngsters, on the other hand, were in complete disbelief. In the face of such an attack, they probably wouldn't even have the chance to retaliate. Little did they know that although Lin Xian had only used 3 moves, they were the combination of his mystiques and ultimate techniques. Physique, sword art, and eye technique were all his strongest attacks. Therefore, defeating 3 powerful enemies in 3 moves was completely within expectations. It's too early for you to be happy. Old Zhang of the Long River sect snorted coldly. Although he had defeated 3 people, the 3 of them still had the strength to stand. What that brat used just now should be his strongest technique, right? How many times could he use that kind of technique? Victory and defeat were decided. Inside the ancient land, Feng Zhan sighed. I really underestimated you. The power of the divine body is indeed worthy of its reputation. However, the 3 of us still have a lot of trump cards and ultimate techniques that we haven't used yet. So be prepared to face despair. With a roar, he charged forward. He was also an expert in close combat. His physique was very strong, and he cultivated the peerless treasure body of the Battle King Peak. Bing Wei and Chang Qing were the same. They also charged forward. Lin Xian snorted coldly without the slightest fear. He displayed the 10 ultimate swords with one hand and formed a powerful fist with the other. At the same time, his eyes opened and closed, causing one's soul to tremble. Lin Xian attacked. He punched out, destroying everything. That fist seemed to have turned into a peerless sun, bringing with it unparalleled power. Another sword slash destroyed heaven and earth. Lin Xian's sword chi didn't stop. It turned into the sharpest divine sword, and nothing could stop it. As for his soul eye technique, when his gaze swept across everyone's soul, it was as if it was about to split open. They withstood the immense pressure. Lin Xian took the initiative to attack. The first to collapse was Chang Qing. His soul was once again severely injured. He spat out blood and flew backward. Then he was cut in half by the sword chi. Feng Zhan retreated again. At this moment his body turned into a bloody mist. In front of the powerful divine body, his peerless treasure body couldn't withstand a single blow. Ice Phoenix condensed a sky full of frost, trying to freeze the sword light that was coming over. However, she failed. This sword strike turned her arms into nothingness. The 3 of them had been defeated previously, and this time, the 3 of them were seriously injured. The battle was very fast. It seemed to have ended in the blink of an eye. Lin Xian stood there, as if he hadn't used all his strength. Damn it, what kind of sword technique are you cultivating? Ice Phoenix gritted her teeth and roared. She felt that it wasn't any weaker than the 9-yang divine body. It was definitely a legendary sword technique. And that eye technique, although it wasn't deliberately targeted at them, it still made their hair stand on end. They knew that the other party was unfathomable. Perhaps only a late-stage expert could suppress him. The others couldn't. They had lost this battle. They laughed bitterly. They couldn't accept it. But that was the truth. We lost this battle. We won't go to our destination. Bing Wei shook her head. On the other side, Lung Feng also stopped. The other 2 didn't attack anymore. They were already scared out of their wits. Lung Feng was also shocked. Previously, he thought that Lin Xian wasn't strong enough. Later, he recognized Lin Xian's strength. Later, he was worried about Lin Xian. Now, he was completely stunned. Fortunately, he didn't really fight with Lin Xian that day. Otherwise, he would have lost miserably. Looking at the retreating figures, Lin Xian said coldly, "You can leave, but I can't." Lin Xian waved his hand and grabbed at Chang Qing. Chang Qing's soul was severely injured. At this moment, he couldn't resist at all. He was instantly grabbed and pressed to the ground. Bing Wei's face changed. "What are you doing?" Lin Xian snorted. What do you think I'm doing? He wanted to kill me before. I can't let him live. If you kill him, you won't be afraid of those great sage outside, right? Feng Zhan was also shocked. Is this guy crazy? Although he was defeated, he was still a top expert. He still had a long way to go. If he died now, how could the Long River sect let it go? Old ancestor, save me. Chang Qing cried for help in horror. The elders of the Long River sect outside roared. How dare you? A great sage waved his hand and grabbed at the ancient land in front of him. But at this moment, the sky full of lotuses condensed into a sky screen and blocked the palm. The lotus old ancestor laughed. Do you want to fight? Have you forgotten the rules? Chapter 45-56. Damn it, you dare to stop me? The great sage of the Long River sect roared. The great sage of the Dark Feather also walked out. So what if I'm stopping you? Come and fight me if you're not happy. His body emitted a terrifying killing intent. I'm not afraid of you. The great sage of the Long River sect wanted to join forces with the other two great sages to counterattack. However, at this moment, a roar came from the ancient palace. They all turned their heads and their pupils shrank. Because Chang Qing was already dead. Lin Xian had destroyed his soul with a single sword strike. There was no possibility of him coming back to life. Damn it! The great sage of the Long River sect roared. How dare Lin Xian attack? Bing Wei and the others were also stunned. Their faces were filled with fear. Young Master Lin, we've offended you before. I hope you can spare our lives. Feng Zhan also lowered his head. Indeed, we were wrong. Please forgive us. The surrounding people were stunned. The two experts actually lowered their heads and admitted their mistakes. It was unbelievable. When they saw that Chang Qing's soul had been destroyed, they all knew that this was a terrifying expert with terrifying methods. They might have a chance to live if they lowered their heads and submitted to him. If they continued to be arrogant, they might end up like Chang Qing. Lin Xian looked at these people and said coldly, if you're willing to submit, I can spare your lives. However, I have to cut off one of your arms and hand over your storage rings. Are you willing? These people were shocked. The storage rings were their blood, sweat, and tears. However, compared to their lives, they could only grit their teeth and nod. Very good. Lin Xian took their storage rings. Then he waved his sword, which turned into sword chi and cut off their arms. I'll spare you this time. If you dare to go against me again, I can guarantee that you'll end up worse than this guy. The few of them took a deep breath and quickly left. In fact, it was easy for Lin Xian to kill these people. However, he did not do so, because he was also thinking about the future. Now that he had offended the Long River sect, the great sage would definitely be hostile to him. If he killed the other two sects, then all the overlords would be hostile to him. This would be very disadvantageous for him and the Xintian Pavilion. Therefore, Lin Xian's son killed Chang Qing and spared the experts from the other two sections. Presumably, the great sage of the two sects would not continue to attack. As expected, in the distance, the Eternal River sect roared loudly. However, the two great sage from the Ice Rain Palace and the War King Peak walked over to persuade them. He had no intention of making a move. The people of the Eternal River sect were so angry that they almost vomited blood. Damn it, didn't we agree to join hands? Why aren't they attacking now? The surrounding people were also amazed. It seemed that the final winner was Xintian Pavilion. At this moment, only Lin Xian and Lung Feng could stand in the center of the ancient land. Lung Feng could not believe that such a thing had happened. Lin Xian took a deep breath and walked forward with big strides. Finally, he came to the center. There was a lake there. An extremely mysterious aura was emitted from it. Lin Xian walked in directly and began to absorb the energy inside. Lung Feng came back to his senses and did not dare to delay. He also walked in. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The energy inside was very large and was very beneficial to one's comprehension of the Great Tao. Lung Feng was comprehending here. Lin Xian was the same. He wanted to absorb as much as possible. The Great Dragon Sword Soul was also absorbing the energy here quickly. Lin Xian's strength was steadily increasing. His greatest comprehension was also getting stronger. A month later, Lung Feng came out. He had reached his limit and could not take it anymore. He sighed. Fate had come to an end. He could only leave. He realized that Lin Xian did not seem to have come out yet. He wondered how long this guy could stay here. One had to know that staying here for one more day meant one more day of opportunity. The people outside were also waiting. When they saw Lung Feng come out, they were all discussing. Lin Xian had not come out yet. They wondered how strong he would be when he came out this time. Those people from the Xiantian pavilion were also surprised. Would he break through directly? If so, it would be too shocking. The elder from the golden light shook his head slightly. It was not that easy. What he cultivated was the divine body. The amount of energy he needed was far greater than the other physiques. Indeed, the power of the divine body was many times that of other people. The power it needed was naturally many times more than other people. Although he could not break through, his strength would definitely increase greatly compared to before. Outside, Bing Wei and the others were extremely shocked. Previously, the other party could already fight 3 of them alone. After coming out, wouldn't it be even easier? In the ancient land, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He did feel that his physique and laws had both become stronger. This made him happy. Lin Xian continued to push the great dragon sword soul, allowing him to absorb even faster. The entire ancient land formed a huge vortex and surged towards the great dragon sword soul. That's great. I wonder how much I can improve this time. However, at this moment, a terrifying aura came from below and slashed towards the great dragon sword soul. The great dragon sword's soul swayed, and sword chi pierced through heaven and earth. What was going on? Lin Xian was also shocked. He slowed down the speed of absorption, and the terrifying aura weakened. Was someone stopping him from absorbing quickly? Who was it? He used the heavenly secret divine eye and looked down. He discovered that there was an even more mysterious aura under the ground. Let's take a look. Lin Xian used sword chi to tear open the ground and walked down. He didn't know how long he had flown, but he seemed to have arrived in hell. At this moment, there was an extremely terrifying pressure around him. He saw that there was an even more terrifying great Tao and power under the ground. It was dozens or even hundreds of times more than above. However, he didn't dare to absorb it because there were many coffins below. There were a total of 10. Each of them had an ancient aura and were wrapped in endless great Tao. There was actually someone buried under the ancient land. Who was it? He had never heard of it before. Moreover, it seemed that it was very old. Could it be that it was because he had absorbed too much power with the great dragon sword soul? That was why the coffins were attacking. Thinking of this, his hair stood on end. At this moment, he took a few steps back. He felt as if a pair of extremely terrifying eyes were staring at him. Although none of the coffins were opened, the feeling was very real. He couldn't be wrong. Was the person inside still alive? His scalp went numb, and he instantly retreated. As he rose into the air, he felt the pressure slowly weaken. Finally, he returned to the ground again. He heaved a sigh of relief. Now that his physique had become stronger than before, and his dragon soul had also been improved. If he stayed here any longer, there would be that unknown danger. Therefore, Lin Xian also prepared to come out. His figure swayed, and he left the ancient land. The people outside were waiting. When they saw Lin Xian come out, they heaved a sigh of relief. He had finally come out. He wondered how strong this brat was. Chapter 45-57. You finally came out. Jian Wuck and the others also went up to welcome him. The people of the Long River sect looked over with cold expressions. Their genius had already fallen. How hateful. One of the elders said coldly. This kid should keep a low profile in the future. Otherwise, if he continues to be arrogant, he might fall at any time. This was a threat that made one's hair stand on end. Lin Xian didn't care at all. Let's see who dares to touch him. Old Ancestor Darkfeather also snorted coldly. A powerful sage aura swept across the surroundings. Then, the 2 great sage waved their hands. Let's go. They soared into the sky. Damn it! The people of the Long River sect gritted their teeth. Their great sage said, "Go, investigate everything about this kid for me." They had to figure it out. Obviously, they wouldn't let this matter rest. Lin Xian and the others returned to the Shintian Pavilion and held a banquet. This was a victory that belonged to the Shintian Pavilion. This time, they actually defeated the three great sections. Of course, all of this was thanks to Lin Xian. Those sages who didn't go were also surprised when they heard the news. This Lin Xian was actually so powerful? He was simply like a god. Countless people came over to congratulate them. Those people looked at Lin Xian differently. Although he was a newcomer, he was a genius who was even more talented than Lung Feng. Lung Feng also came over and apologized first. Previously, he was too rude to Lin Xian. At the same time, he thanked him. It was all thanks to Lin Xian that he had the chance to be tempered by the ancient land. Lin Xian smiled and said, "You're too polite. We're all from the Shintian Pavilion. Naturally, we have to help each other." Yes, that's right. These people clenched their fists, their faces filled with excitement. When they were free, Lin Xian found Jian Wuk and asked, "Senior, what's so magical about this ancient land? Are there other people living inside?" He was very shocked by the ancient coffins he saw. Jian Wuk said, "This place is very mysterious. Every 100 years, we only work together to open it once. At other times, it's sealed and no one can enter. It's even more impossible for someone to live there. There were some legends everywhere. Some said that a great battle had taken place here. There were also people who said that in the past, this was the place where some peerless experts lived. Even the young great emperor had been there. However, no one knew exactly what it was." Lin Xian asked, "Did no one investigate? Whether it was the Profound Sky Pavilion, the Long River sect, or the other top sects, they all had the great sage. And there was more than one of them. If these great sage were to join forces, they should be able to sweep through everything." Jian Wuk said. Naturally, he did, but he didn't find anything. In fact, back then, the great sage had tried to force his way through, but ended up being severely injured. It was a narrow escape. From then on, the great sage treated that place with reverence. They only allowed the younger generation to compete for the limelight, but they never took a step inside. A great sage was heavily injured. Lin Xian was shaken. Presumably, it was the aura emanating from the ancient coffin beneath the earth. Luckily, he didn't act rashly back then. Otherwise, he would be in danger. Shaking his head, Lin Xian didn't think about this matter anymore. The other elders also walked over. "Little guy, you're not ordinary. If you have any questions about cultivation in the future, you can ask me anytime." "That's right, I also want to spar with you." The elder from the Golden Light sect also walked over. He also wanted to see the power of the legendary divine body. Lin Xian looked at these experts and smiled. "Then I'll disturb all of you in the future." After the banquet ended, Lin Xian rested for 3 days. Then he started to visit the other elders. These elders were all very strong. Many of them were at the peak of the sage realm. Lin Xian learned a lot from sparring with these people. Morning. Lin Xian got up and talked about the Tao of the sword with Jian Wuk. The sword energy on their bodies clashed continuously. Lin Xian's sword was sharp and could cut through everything. Jian Wuk's sword energy walked a different path. It was very light and agile, like an antelope hanging its horn, ethereal and traceless. These were two completely different Tao of the sword. At this moment, the two of them were fighting. Jian Wuk suppressed his cultivation. When the two of them fought, the swordsmen were stunned. Jian Wuk was too strong. He was actually able to compete with Elder Wuk's Tao of the sword. One had to know that Jian Wuk's sword skills were very strong. Although he was only at the late stage of the Sage King realm, he could fight against a peak Sage King. He was a top swordsman. There were very few people who could compete with him in the Tao of the sword. Lin Xian also felt a lot. Next, he found the elder from the Golden Light sect to spar with his body. The elder from the Golden Light sect was very excited. "Little guy, let's not use the laws." As he spoke, he sealed his cultivation and laws. Lin Xian did the same. The two of them used the power of their bodies to spar and fought for 3 days and 3 nights. It was very carefree. He had never fought so happily before. The elder with the golden body looked up to the sky and laughed. Although he was an old man, there were no wrinkles on his face. Other than his white hair, he looked no different from a young man. Especially the other party's body. It was too strong. It was like King Kong had descended. "Little guy, you are too extraordinary." Jian Wuk soared. "Also, there are very few people in the Sage King realm who can compete with my body. But you can do it alone. It is really surprising. Senior, you are too polite." Lin Xian smiled. Purple flames danced in the sky and formed a figure. It was a peerless woman. She had a noble aura. She smiled. "Old man, you have been here for too long. It's time for me to spar." Lin Xian's face was stunned. Seemed like after he had displayed his talents, all of these elders were really interested in him. Not only was the 9-yang divine body strong, its flames were unparalleled. "So, I am here to experience it." Endless flames appeared in the woman's hand. Then they formed a fire phoenix and flew down. Lin Xian activated the 9-yang divine flames with all his strength to fight against it. Another huge battle ensued. For the next half a year, Lin Xian sparred with the elders every day. These elders taught him some of his shortcomings. Lin Xian was thinking about how to improve. During this period of time, his strength had increased by leaps and bounds. On the other side, the Long River sect was also looking for information about Lin Xian. Soon, all sorts of information about Lin Xian was gathered in their hands. This guy came from another world. Previously, he was a battle servant in the Thousand Mountain Grotto. Later on, his strength was outstanding. He won the spouse martial competition and became the prince consort. One piece of news after another appeared in front of these elders. The great sage said, "Is there any more valuable news?" The elders below said, "This guy is really daring. He fought a life and death battle with an elder of the Thousand Mountain Grotto. On the arena, he killed the Star Elder in front of everyone. Not only that, he even killed a genius of the Star race. Later on, he was taken away by Jian Wuk. It was said that after Jian Wuk took that kid away, yet another mysterious expert had killed an elder of the Star race with a single palm strike." Chapter 45-58. When the people around heard this, they sucked in a breath of cold air. Was this really the doing of a young man? To be honest, even they wouldn't dare to be so arrogant. The Misty Peak was not weaker than the Long River sect. Was there someone behind this kid helping him? Someone frowned. Another elder said, "There was still news here, but there was no evidence." It seemed that his eye technique was related to the Rinnegan. Everyone was even more shocked when they heard this. The Rinnegan was a legendary existence. Some people wondered if it was the Qinkuan ancient city. He went there too? They knew what happened in the Qinkuan ancient city, but they didn't have the chance to go there. They were in the Tianxian continent. The Long River sect was in the eastern region of the Tianxian continent. The Misty Peak and other sects were in the northern region of the Tianxian continent. The distance between the two sides was still very far, unless they got the news in advance. Otherwise, the treasure would have been long gone by the time they got there. "Old ancestor, should we make a move?" Those people all looked forward. The great sage opened his eyes. This kid was now a member of the Dark Sky Pavilion, and with the talent he had shown, he would be fully protected by the Dark Sky Pavilion. It would be difficult for us to make a move. Should we join forces with the Ice Feather Palace? Someone suggested. Another elder shook his head. "I'm afraid it's not good. If he really has the Rinnegan, even if we get it, we will have to fight with the Ice Feather Palace and the War King Peak. Not to mention the Rinnegan, it's not easy to get it. If the news gets out, our Long River sect will be in danger of being destroyed. Is it that serious?" Some people were surprised. Another elder said that in the Qinkuan ancient city, besides the Misty Peak, there was an even more terrifying existence. It was said that it was a peak existence of the great sage, and he had used the Six Paths body. Then he should be the sect master of the Six Paths sect. He was the descendant of the legendary great sage, and he was determined to get the Rinnegan. Competing with such a person would only result in certain death. So we can't snatch the Rinnegan. However, we can spread the news, and the Six Paths sect will definitely send people to capture that kid. At that time, the Profound Heaven Pavilion would probably suffer as well. Upon hearing this, the powerhouses of the Long River sect smirked coldly. Great. The Six Dao sect was stronger than them. With the Six Dao sect making a move, the mysterious Heaven Pavilion definitely wouldn't be able to withstand it. Soon, they sent people to contact the Six Dao sect. Six Dao sect. It was also a sect from the Profound Sky continent. It was an extremely terrifying sect that inherited the Kuan Great Sage and possessed the Six Paths body. His strength was terrifying. Last time in Chenkuan Ancient City, he was the suzerain of the Six Paths. The Great Sage of Kuan Su went there in person. His avatar was destroyed by the Rinnegan. This was unbearable for him. Therefore, he once again sent people to Chenkuan Ancient City to investigate. She would not let any of those people from Tianji Town go. When the people of the Six Dao sect went to investigate, Misty Peak directly sent a message, saying that he knew the whereabouts of the Rinnegan. The people of the Six Dao sect were overjoyed and quickly asked. It turned out that it was very likely that someone called Lin Xian had obtained it. Did you see it with your own eyes? The expert of the Six Dao sect asked coldly. The people of Misty Peak said that they did not see it with their own eyes, but they had strong evidence. Because that kid originally had the heavenly secret divine eyes. He was from the heavenly secret race. The chances of him obtaining the Rinnegan were much higher than others. What? He originally had the heavenly secret divine eyes? The people of the Six Dao sect attached great importance to him. They quickly sent this news back. At the same time, they asked again where that kid was. If they could capture him, it would be a great merit. Their sect would definitely reward them. Unfortunately, that guy wasn't here. The people of Misty Peak said that the kid was taken away by Jian Wuk of the Xintian Pavilion. It seemed that he had joined the Xintian Pavilion. Xintian Pavilion? The people of the Six Dao sect quickly returned. Soon, they set off for the Xintian Pavilion again. Not long after, they received another piece of news. It was the news from the Long River sect. They said that they had discovered the existence of the Rinnegan. That person was in the Xintian Pavilion. His name was Lin Xian. The people of the Six Dao sect were shocked. This time, they sent the Great Sage. They had to suppress him and bring him back successfully. When the Great Sage came, he was very secretive. Other than the people of the Long River sect, no one else knew. He wanted to prevent Lin Xian from escaping. In a mountain range, two figures flew back. They were the people of the Long River sect. Previously, the two of them were responsible for sending the news to the Six Dao sect. Now, they were preparing to return. The two of them were riding on an ice-flying sword. They were both late-stage Saint Kings and were very powerful. They were two elders. The two of them chatted. That kid was dead. That was for sure. He did not have the qualifications to have the Rinnegan. This time, the Great Sage had come. It would be difficult for him to escape. Even if the people of the Xintian Pavilion protected him, he would definitely die. The two of them sneered and sped up. At that moment, a voice came from behind them. Rinnegan? Where did you get the news? Who is it? The two elders of the Long River sect narrowed their eyes and turned around. The two of them each took a picture. The void behind them collapsed. The void within 1,000,000 miles shattered. However, there was no one. What was going on? The two of them turned around and were shocked. They almost fell off the flying sword. Because there was a figure standing in front of them. That person was wearing an ancient and tattered robe. His gray hair covered his face, making it hard to see his face clearly. However, his eyes were like lightning. He spoke coldly again. Do you know about the Rinnegan? Damn it, who are you? How dare you go against our Long River sect? The two elders started fighting. They looked at each other and then suddenly exploded. The monstrous laws turned into a giant dragon and charged forward. However, it was useless. This time, they hit nothing but air. In the next moment, they saw a pair of cold eyes that kept changing. It was a pair of green eyes that controlled their souls. The two elders knelt on the ground. They were extremely subservient. The gray-haired man began to ask, and soon, everything was clear. Lin Xian, the Xiantian sect. He searched the other party's soul again. Soon he saw the illusion of a young man. It was him. The gray-haired man's pupils shrank. He was surprised. He did not expect it to be this little guy. Interesting. His figure flickered, and he disappeared into the void. The Xiantian pavilion. Lin Xian was cultivating inside. Every day he would spar with a few elders and talk about the great Tao. His strength was steadily increasing. Chapter 45-59. Not to mention him, even the Xiantian pavilion didn't know because they couldn't figure it out. Not only did Lin Xian have the 9-yang divine body, but he also had the Rinnegan. On this day, a figure arrived outside the Xiantian pavilion. It was a gray-haired man with a very mysterious aura. He descended from the sky. "For you?" The guards of the Xiantian pavilion walked out and asked coldly. The gray-haired man smiled and said, "You won't know my name even if I tell you. I'm here to look for Lin Xian. He should be in your Xiantian pavilion, right? Take me to see him." "You're looking for young Master Lin?" The guards were surprised. Lin Xian's reputation had already spread throughout the Xiantian pavilion. No one didn't know. It was because of Lin Xian that the Xiantian pavilion was able to turn defeat into victory and hold their heads high. One of the guards said, "Okay, please follow me." Since he was here to look for Lin Xian, he was a guest. They respectfully invited him in. In addition, another guard went to look for Lin Xian. "Young Master Lin, a friend of yours is here to look for you." In the territory of the Zhang 6 Golden Body Elder, the guard said respectfully. Lin Xian stood up in surprise. "Who is my friend? Could it be one of the friends from the true spirit world that year?" He was very surprised and even a little curious. The guard said, "I don't know. I've already brought him to Elder Wux's territory. Young Master Lin will know when he gets there." Lin Xian nodded and then looked at Elder Jingguang. "Senior, I won't spar with you today. I still have something to do." Then he left. Cranes danced in the sky, and spiritual herbs bloomed. This courtyard was very quiet. When Lin Xian landed, he saw a figure in front of him with his back facing him. "For you?" He was surprised. Because he didn't know this figure. The figure turned around. "It's you." Lin Xian was really shocked. The gray-haired man also smiled. "Yes, that's right, it's me. Young Master Lin, long time no see." Lin Xian was shocked. This person was none other than the person he had rescued from the divination pavilion. There were a total of 3 people who had come out of the divination pavilion with him. 2 of them were white-haired old men who had wanted to make a move on him, but they had left in the end. The other one was this gray-haired man. He had been silent the entire time and had even warned him to be careful. Later on, when so many great sage descended upon Qiankuan ancient city, these people all left. Who would have thought that they would actually meet the other party here? "So it's you. How should I address you? Are you looking for me?" "What is it?" Lin Xian asked. "My name is Xiao Mu and I'm here to find you for something. The great sage Gon's final Rinnegan was given to you." Upon hearing this, Lin Xian's pupils shrank. "Are you kidding me? Who told you that? Could it be that you came to me because of this?" "I have to say, you're really daring. You dare to come here without any evidence. Aren't you afraid that Xiantian Pavilion will make a move? You don't have to be so agitated. I'm not interested in the Rinnegan. I don't care if you took it or not. I'm just here to remind you. Your secret has already been found out by others and the 6 Dao sect has already sent the great sage Gon. He should be here in a few days. I'm here to capture you. I'm here to tell you this news." After Lin Xian heard this, he was stunned. Did the news spread? The 6 Dao sect should be the sect that the great sage Gon was in. He had the 6 Dao body, so he definitely wanted the Rinnegan. However, who spread the news? No one should know. Was this person trying to test him? Lin Xian didn't speak and his expression became even more gloomy. Xiao Mu said, "I'm not testing you. I met the people of the Long River sect on the way and heard them talking about this. I used my eye technique to collect their souls and obtain this news. The people of the Long River sect guessed that you had the Rinnegan, so they reported it to the Six Tao sect. Moreover, the people of the Misty Peak also wanted to inform the Six Tao sect, so the Six Tao sect came. Damn it, the Misty Peak and the Long River sect. Lin Xian clenched his teeth. He said, I said that I didn't get the Rinnegan, but you didn't believe it. Since you don't believe it, the others won't believe it either. Therefore, whether I got it or not, it seems that I have to avoid this crisis. Thank you for telling me. What should you ask for? Lin Xian asked. Just ask. As long as I can do it, I won't refuse. I'm indeed here to find you, but let me make one thing clear. Although I'm interested in the Rinnegan, I won't take it. Whether you have it or not, even if you do, I won't make a move. After all, if I get the Rinnegan, I'll be hunted by the Six Tao sect for a lifetime. I don't have the strength to fight against them. Moreover, I've been sealed in the Heaven's Secret Pavilion for more than 5,000 years and don't have much lifespan left. I want to live a peaceful life, so you don't have to worry about me harming you. As for the condition, you're an eye technique expert, and it seems that you can't stay here any longer. Therefore, I want to invite you to my clan. Go to your clan? Lin Xian frowned. Shamu said, some time ago, I went back to the clan and found that my daughter has grown up. Moreover, she has become an extremely terrifying eye technique expert. However, because I've disappeared for 5,000 years, I didn't recognize her. Moreover, I'm afraid that there are some people in the clan who want to harm her. Therefore, I hope that you can help her. Is that all? Lin Xian was surprised. Xiaomu nodded. That's right, that's all. You should know that I have no malice towards you. Otherwise, I would have already made a move in the Heaven's Secret Pavilion. Lin Xian understood this point. Indeed, the other party had told him to be careful before, and now he had come to give him such a big news. This made him surprised and grateful. Lin Xian said, as long as you're telling the truth, I'll leave here immediately. Moreover, I can consider helping your daughter. However, before that, I have to discuss this with the people of the Shintian Pavilion. After that, Lin Xian found Jian Wu and Jian Shisan and told them to properly entertain Xiaomu. As for him, he found Jian Wuk and explained the situation. Jian Wuk was extremely shocked. Damn it, the people of the Six Tao sect dared to come? Moreover, it was a great sage. This is really a big matter. Then you can't stay here any longer. You have to leave quickly. Lin Xian nodded. I have the same plan. I'm preparing to go out and travel. Prepare yourself. I'll have the Shintian Pavilion prepare to use the teleportation array. Jian Wuk left. He ordered people to prepare the teleportation array while he went to see Lord Xiang Tian. When they arrived at the mysterious cave, Jian Wuk explained the situation. Lord Xiang Tian's voice rang out. Oh, he's leaving? I originally wanted to see him after a while, but now it seems that I have to meet him in advance. Bring him here. Jian Wuk accepted the order and returned to bring Lin Xian to the entrance of the mysterious cave. After that he left. Lin Xian was also nervous. He also knew that this time, he was meeting the pavilion master of the Shintian Pavilion, Lord Xiang Tian. It was the person Xia Juyo had asked him to find. Xiang Tian's voice rang out. I'm still in seclusion and can't come out. Elder Xia, is he all right? Chapter 4560. Hearing this, Lin Xian took a deep breath. Lord Xiang Tian, I've finally found you. Old Xia asked me to find you. I didn't have any clue at all. I didn't expect to meet you here. As for old Xia's situation, Lin Xian shook his head and sighed. He wasn't doing very well. His lifespan seemed to be almost up. Previously, he had been sealed, but when he fought against the world of mortals, he had used up even more of his energy. Now, he was probably sealed again. Even so, the situation wasn't optimistic. If he couldn't find a way to extend his lifespan, he would probably die within 100 years. Within 100 years? Xiang Tian also took a deep breath. He said that he would use the power of the Shintian Pavilion to search for those heavenly treasures. As for the final result, I'm not sure. Lin Xian clenched his fists and said, Lord Xiang Tian, don't worry. I will definitely extend old Xia's lifespan. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with determination. Xia Juyo had saved his life more than once. He would definitely repay this debt of gratitude. Sometimes, it was difficult to escape the cycle of life and death. Even great emperors had to undergo reincarnation. It was difficult to live forever. Lord Xiang Tian sighed. He was the great sage and he was very powerful. However, the higher one's cultivation level, the more they could see. He didn't continue this topic. Instead, he said, I heard that the great sage of the Six Tao sect has come looking for you. There's no time to lose. You should leave first. We'll help you block them here. You can come back after things calm down. Lin Xian nodded and said, Oh right, Lord Xiang Tian, there's a person called Xiao Mu. He claims to be from the Xiao family. He should be from the I clan. He invited me. Do you think it's reliable? Xiao Mu from the Xiao family. Lord Xiang Tian paused for a moment and said, So it's him. He hasn't appeared for nearly 5,000 years. So he's trapped in the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. I've also heard of this person. He's a top genius in eye techniques. He's straightforward and upright. I don't think he'll harm you. So you can go with him. Lin Xian didn't have anything to prepare. His things were all in his spatial ring. Now that he had met Lord Xiang Tian, he could leave. So he went back and found Xiao Mu. He said, Senior, let's go. Jian Wuk led the two of them to the teleportation array. The teleportation array was activated and the spatial laws enveloped them. The two figures disappeared without a trace. One day later, suddenly, a huge force came down from the sky, enveloping the entire Xiantian pavilion. Endless barriers appeared in all directions, sealing the entire world. The saints in the Xiantian pavilion all looked up at the sky. What was going on? Someone wanted to attack their Xiantian pavilion? Jian Wuk walked out with a solemn expression on his face. Luckily, they had acted quickly. They didn't expect that in just a day, the other party would come. If he was a day late, Lin Xian might not be able to leave. Who dares to behave atrociously in my profound heaven pavilion? The Zhang's 6 golden body elders snorted coldly. The other elders all walked out and frowned. It's the aura of the great sage. Don't act rashly, Jian Wuk said in a deep voice. The others also had solemn expressions. Which side did the great sage come from? Only Jian Wuk and a few others knew about Lin Xian's matter. The other elders didn't know, so they were very puzzled. Where did you come from? Why did you come to my Xiantian pavilion? Lotus Ancestor walked out, lotus blooming with every step. I am from the Six Tao sect. Where is that brat Lin Xian? Tell him to come out. A cold voice came from the sky. The surrounding people were shocked. The other party came to find Lin Xian. Damn it, did they want to capture Lin Xian? They could feel the cold killing intent from the other party. Why are you looking for Lin Xian? The Lotus Old Ancestor asked. The great sage of the Six Tao sect snorted coldly. He took something that he shouldn't have. I will return it to its rightful owner. Damn it, they really came for Lin Xian. Some of the younger disciples clenched their fists. Lung Rufeng's expression also changed greatly. Lin Xian had provoked the great sage. He was really in danger. Master, quickly save him. That's right, old ancestor. We can't let Lin Xian be in danger. The other sages all spoke out. Lin Xian had made their Xiantian pavilion proud before. They had already recognized Lin Xian in their hearts. Now that someone came to find trouble with Lin Xian, they naturally didn't want to. The elders also gritted their teeth. During this period of time, they had sparred with Lin Xian every day. They had also recognized this young junior. This was the future. A genius with limitless potential could not be allowed to be in any danger. The Lotus Old Ancestor also sneered. Something that he shouldn't have taken? What was it that he didn't know? Just say it. You don't need to know. Just tell him to come out. The great sage in the sky was very powerful. The Lotus Old Ancestor was also angry. Get it clear, this is the Xiantian Pavilion, not the Six Tao sect. It's not your turn to behave atrociously. With a cold shout, thousands of lotuses bloomed between heaven and earth, as if to suppress the 9 heavens. Could it be that you dare to attack me? Do you want to be enemies with the Six Tao sect? The figure in the sky also descended. It was a middle-aged man with a majestic gait. The strength of his body was very powerful. His physique was like that of a fiend god. The lotuses in the sky kept swaying. The surrounding people all held their breaths. They felt their hair stand on end. Are the two great sage going to fight? Don't you understand what he said? This is not the Six Tao sect. It's not your turn to behave atrociously. With another cold shout, a young man flew up. The terrifying figure swept in all directions. His black wings covered the sky and earth. Old Ancestor Dark Feather. Many people cried out in surprise. This was great. Another great saint had come. After Old Ancestor Dark Feather arrived, his voice was biting cold. His young face was filled with endless coldness. If you want to fight, I'll accompany you to the end. The great sage Dark Feather is very powerful. In the sky, the great sage Dark Feather's face sank. He coldly said, "That kid has obtained the inheritance of the Rinnegan. It belongs to our Six Tao sect. Make him hand it over." The Rinnegan. Countless people were shocked. Dark Feather loudly said, "You said that he has the Rinnegan? Do you have evidence?" The great sage of the Six Tao sect said, "Let him out and the truth will be revealed." Hearing this confident voice, the surrounding people were shocked. Could it be that Lin Xian really has the inheritance of the Rinnegan? It's too inconceivable. The Lotus Old Ancestor laughed. Unfortunately, Lin Xian is not in our Xiantian pavilion right now. How is that possible? The great sage Dark Feather's pupils shrank. You want to protect that kid? I already said that it's not my idea this time. It's the order of our Six Tao sect's sect master. How dare you? You are going to be enemies with our Six Tao sect. We will do whatever it takes to suppress that kid. Do you still want to stop us? The Lotus Old Ancestor frowned. She said, I already said that he is not in our Xiantian pavilion. You also know that he is a young top genius and needs to gain experience. So a few days ago, he left here to gain experience. What? Left? Chapter 4561. Elder Dark Feather also sneered. How would we know? We will not restrict the actions of our disciples when they go out for experience. So, regardless of whether what you said is true or not, you have found the wrong place to find Lin Xian. He is not here. You should go somewhere else to find him. How is that possible? He just came to Xiantian Pavilion not long ago and he went out for experience? And just a few days ago? There is no such coincidence. He must be hiding here. You let me investigate. After he finished speaking, his soul power surged out in all directions. Courting death. How can you investigate our Xiantian Pavilion? Lotus Old Ancestor was furious. The great sage Dark Feather was also angry. Don't think that you can be arrogant because you are from the Six Tao sect. Believe it or not, I can make a move on you right now. The atmosphere in the sky became incomparably solemn. Those people below were also gnashing their teeth. Damn it, too arrogant. The Xiantian Pavilion was a top-notch sect. How could anyone be able to pry into it? If that is the case, where will their face go? The atmosphere between the two sides became more and more tense. Just at this moment, the great sage in the sky made his move. He punched out with supreme power. His physique seemed to have turned into a god, unparalleled in the world. You are courting death. The great sage Dark Feather made his move. His wings were fierce and overbearing, slashing out. It was like two heavenly blades. The collision of the two caused the sky to fall and the earth to crack. The whole world turned into a big crack. Lotus Old Ancestor was also ready to make his move. The great sage formed a seal with his palm and crushed a jade pendant. Suddenly, 6 phantoms flew out from the jade pendant, turning into 6 worlds. Floating around him, the terrifying power rarely came out. The great sage Lotus was shocked. The lotuses in the sky shattered. Now the great sage Dark Feather's expression was also solemn. The power of Six Tao. He didn't expect that the great sage Dark Feather would carry the power of Six Tao. It was too terrifying. The people of Xiantian Pavilion were also shocked. This aura was too terrifying. Was the power of Six Tao sect so terrifying? The great sage Darkfeather sneered. I have said before, you are not my opponent. If you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. He carried the power of 6 worlds with him as he charged over. The great sage of the lotus flower was forced back. The great sage of the Darkfeather's face was cold and gloomy. He wanted to launch a strong attack. At this moment, an aura spread out from the depths of the Shintian pavilion. Boom, boom. The 6 worlds were suppressed, and the great sage was sent flying, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Who was it? Shock was written all over his face. Someone's aura alone was enough to injure him. The great sage of Lotus and the great sage of Darkfeather were also shocked. The pavilion master was awake. They stood respectfully in the sky. A voice came from afar. You want to cause trouble in the Shintian pavilion with just you? Even Kuan Su was not qualified to do so. The Kuan Su great sage was the sect leader of the Six Tao sect. When the great sage heard this, his pupils shrank and he gritted his teeth. The pavilion master of the Shintian pavilion. Since you've already come out, why don't you come out and meet me? You have no right to see me. The voice coldly snorted. The great sage of the Six Tao sect had an ugly expression. He had heard that this person was the pavilion master of the Shintian pavilion. His name was Xiang Tian, and his strength was incomparably mysterious. In the eyes of the great sage, he was incomparably terrifying and unfathomable. No one knew exactly how powerful he was. Before he came, the sect leader had already told him to be careful of this person. However, he was disdainful. Their Six Tao sect was stronger than the Shintian pavilion in terms of overall strength. Even if the other party was the pavilion master, so what? Moreover, he had the Six Tao power that the sect leader had given him. But now, he was terrified. The other party's aura had destroyed the Six Tao power and injured him. If he attacked again, he had no chance of winning. He gritted his teeth and said, although you're powerful, my Six Tao sect is not weak. However, my Six Tao sect is not to be trifled with. Does your mysterious heaven pavilion really want to become enemies with my Six Tao sect? You can't represent the Six Tao sect. Xiang Tian's voice sounded. I already said that Lin Xian is not in the Shintian pavilion. This is the last time. Get out of the Shintian pavilion immediately. As for how long you want to stay outside the Shintian pavilion, that's your business. Alright, I want to see if that kid can stay there for the rest of his life. He coldly snorted and left the Shintian pavilion. Outside the Shintian pavilion, he sat down cross-legged. It was as if a mountain was pressing down on the world. Did he leave? The people of the Shintian pavilion all heaved a sigh of relief. Their pavilion master was too domineering. With just a few words, he had scared such a powerful sage. In the following days, everyone returned to peace. The great sage had been guarding outside the Shintian pavilion. On the other side, Lin Xian and Xiao Mu took the teleportation array and left the eastern region of the profound sky continent. In a mountain range, 2 figures appeared. They had finally left that place. Lin Xian looked into the distance and let out a sigh of relief. Next, let's go to your family. Xiao Mu smiled and led the way. Lin Xian took out the black earth and the 2 walked in, resting as they flew. During this time, Xiao Mu also introduced the situation of the Xiao family to him. The Xiao family was a huge family, and it was also a soul family. They were located in Shanghai City. Shanghai City was one of the ancient cities. It had been passed down for a long time, and no one knew its specific origins. Moreover, there was a very special situation in Shanghai City. That was, all the families in Shanghai City were soul attribute experts. This was because Shanghai City was a city of taming beasts. The families in Shanghai City were all beast-taming families, and the Xiao family was one of them. They controlled many monsters. These monsters were either sold to powerful warriors or sold to the sections. They were sold to the surrounding sections. Every sect needed a lot of monsters. Some were responsible for guarding the mountain gate. Some were responsible for suppressing. Some of them became mounts. Most of these monsters came from Shanghai City. After Lin Xian heard this, he was very surprised. Beast taming families were related to the soul. This meant that they had seen many soul attribute experts and even eye technique experts. This made him surprised but also a little happy. This was because only by exchanging pointers with more powerful experts could his soul improve rapidly. As they flew, Lin Xian silently cultivated. 3 months later, they stopped. In front of them was a huge city. It was like an ancient beast, and it had a desolate aura and a terrifying monster aura. The two of them walked out of the black earth and stood in the air. Lin Xian could hear the roars of the demonic beasts coming from the ship. It was really shocking. Shanghai City? Lin Xian took a deep breath. Xiao Mu also looked at the city, his eyes shining. When he left, he was still a young man. Now that he was back, he didn't have much lifespan left. It was really like the sea turning into mulberry fields. Let's go. He looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian nodded, and the two of them walked in. It was very lively inside. Experts and saints could be seen everywhere, and monsters were even more common. Xiao Mu was very familiar with this. He said that after 5,000 years, this place didn't seem to have changed much. Chapter 4562. Xiao Mu pointed into the distance. There was a huge war beast castle there. There were many demonic beasts that could fight inside. It was a place where the great beast tamer clans competed with each other. On the other side, there were many delicacies. There were all kinds of beast materials, such as claws, teeth, scales, and so on. He pointed in another direction and said that one could buy some small beasts there and cultivate them. As for that street, one could buy a lot of information about beasts there. The entire ancient city was closely connected to beasts, which made Lin Xian feel very curious. As expected of the antiquity city, it was indeed powerful. Lin Xian followed Xiao Mu and toured the ancient city. He saw some young geniuses who were much weaker than the strong ones he had met. However, there were a few powerful beasts beside him that could sweep through everything. Such people could also be arrogant and domineering. However, to be able to afford such beasts, their identities were not ordinary. Xiao said, beast tamer clans were also very powerful. They were soul masters and could control beasts. It could be said that they had a lot of means to fight. Some beasts' supernatural powers could be used by them. If they could control a great sage-level beast, it would be even more terrifying. They could sweep through everything. Lin Xian was shocked after hearing this. To control a great sage-level beast. How terrifying was that? Xiao said. In fact, beast tamers did not only know eye techniques. There were many ways to use the soul. Sometimes, it could be combined with sound and illusion techniques. Of course, no matter how powerful one's soul was, it was very difficult to control a great sage. It was simply an impossible task. Unless one's cultivation had reached the great sage level and was proficient in the soul. Indeed. Lin Xian nodded. At the great sage level, to be controlled, it was impossible unless the difference in soul was very large. Otherwise, it was almost impossible. He asked if there was anyone in Shanghai City who could control a great sage-level beast. Xiao Mu said that only one person could control it, and that was the Lord of Shanghai Palace. The Lord of Shanghai Palace. Lin Xian was shocked. Could there really be someone who could do it? How powerful was he? He said, Senior, please tell me in detail. Xiao Mu said, I'm not sure either. However, there had always been legends about him. It was said that the Mountain Sea Palace Master had long since become the great sage. Furthermore, what he cultivated was an extremely mysterious eye technique of the cosmos. Tri-flower green spiritual eyes. Only he could control demonic beasts at the level of the great sage. There were 2 great sage-level demonlings in the Mountain Sea Temple, which were under his control. Even now, they were still there as god beasts. He was the god of Shanghai City, a legendary existence. Lin Xian was also shocked after hearing this. He really wanted to meet such a peerless figure. "Oh right, old Xiao," Lin Xian said that your Xiao clan has some kind of eye technique. He was also very curious about this. Xiao Mu said that our Xiao clan, as a clan of beast tamers, does not use eye techniques, but sound techniques. Our Shao clan's secret technique, illusory melody. It was extremely strong and unique in Shanghai City. Other than us, there are a few other top beast tamer clans. Some of them have special eye techniques. You will know about this in the future. How do I enter the Shao clan? Will you arrange an identity for me? Lin Xian asked. Xiao Mu shook his head. It's not convenient for me to appear now because the Shao clan does not know that I'm still alive. I hope that you can enter with a new identity and not tell anyone about your relationship with me. As a clan of beast tamers, the Shao clan would enter the endless mountains every once in a while to search for demonic beasts. Among them, other than some beast tamers, they also needed other experts, such as saints with strong physiques. Of course, other than that, if you are a soul expert, you can also enter. Especially the Shao clan, they welcome eye technique experts. Young Master Lin, your physique is strong and you're also an eye technique expert. Therefore, you can enter as either of these two identities. Then, Lin Xian asked, what do I do after entering? Xiao Mu sighed. Before I left, my identity was the young clan leader of the Shao clan. In the future, I would become the clan leader of the Shao clan. However, after I left, I disappeared for 5,000 years and my position as clan leader was taken away by others. Therefore, my daughter's position in the clan would definitely fall. My daughter did not disappoint me. She inherited my bloodline talent and is very strong in the path of the soul. Now, she has also grown into a powerful Saint King and become a top elder. However, because of me, the clan has been guarding against her and even suppressing her from time to time. Moreover, I have a granddaughter. Now, my granddaughter is also very talented. She is the bright pearl of the Shao clan's younger generation. What I want you to do is enter the Shao clan and help my granddaughter, Xiao Xiyu. He wanted her to become the champion of the beast tamer competition. Let her become the young clan leader of the Shao clan. The position of clan leader originally belonged to our bloodline and was lost in my hands. I will let my granddaughter take it back. Lin Xian nodded his head, indicating that he had understood the situation. Xiao Mu said, Young master, I know your eye technique is very strong and my request seems to be too much. However, this is also good for you. I can now teach you the Shao clan's secret technique, the illusory sound song. Although it is not an eye technique, it is still a path of the soul. It is a very terrifying secret technique. You can comprehend it. Not only that, as long as you help Xiyu, you can enter the Shanghai Palace. The Mountain Sea Palace is a holy land for souls. There are tens of millions of soul cultivation techniques there. Although your eye bloodline technique is at the peak, it's still not enough. Although your eye technique is very good, you can also use other people's techniques. I think that these soul cultivation techniques will not be bad for young Master Lin. Speaking up to this point, Xiao Mu paused for a moment and then took out a box from his storage ring. He said, Finally, I have something to give young Master Lin. I hope young Master Lin will not reject it. What was this? Lin Xian was shocked. He took it and opened it. Then his pupils shrank. Inside was an eye sealed in ice by a god crystal. The pupil of the eye was golden and abnormally mysterious. It was very similar to Lin Xian's Tianji god eye. This was the eye of the Tianji clan. Where did you get it? Lin Xian was shocked. Xiao Mu said, I found this eye in the secret room of the Tianji pavilion. At that time I was wild with joy. Who would have thought that I would be trapped for 5,000 years? Therefore, I had no interest in cultivating this eye. Young master, since you have the Tianji god eye, this eye is suitable for you. Many thanks. Lin Xian's lips curled up into a smile. He carefully put away the Tianji god eye and said, I will help you fulfill your wish. Then this old man will thank you. Next, Xiao Mu taught Lin Xian the illusory sound song. Then he lived in seclusion in Shanghai City. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.